between the bar's manager and a regular at the bar.
And management asked him to leave. And then by the security guard and bouncer started having a verbal confrontation because the subject did not want to leave.
IMPD Captain Don Wildhammer, the man pulled out a gun and shot the security guard. They were taken to Ascension St. Vincent where they're stable. It's not clear if the shooter has been arrested. A man hit by a car along Southeastern Avenue near 5 Points in Wanamaker this morning. That man was killed in the collision and the driver took off. It took a jury just 2 days to find Kyle Roberts guilty. Donnie Burgess reports he shot a man with a shotgun.
Camera footage from inside the home of Kyle Roberts showed him arguing with someone on the day of October 14th, 2021, and then he makes a choice between a submachine gun and a shotgun. Minutes later, a shot was fired, and Martin Griffin was dead. Roberts will spend the next 75 years in prison. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
She says she was justified. Judge Fran Gull has responded to a petition by Richard Allen's lawyers to have her removed from the Delphi murder case. Gull says that she did the right thing in removing Allen's previous legal team over leaked evidence. It's now in the hands of the state Supreme Court to decide what's next. Nearly a dozen pounds of meth seized in a traffic stop along I-64 in Posey County by state troopers.
They conducted a search of the vehicle, and that's when they found about less than 30 grams of suspected marijuana, but they also found over 10 pounds of suspected methamphetamine in the trunk of that vehicle.
State Police Sergeant Todd Ringel, no telling yet what the street value of the drugs is. The two women in the car were arrested. Purdue is the newly minted #1 team in the land in men's college basketball, and they defend that ranking this evening as they will host Texas Southern inside of Mackey Arena. Tip-off in West Lafayette at 8:30. Traffic on the 5s, Matt Baer.
All right, Kurt, inbound 70. There we go. Slow from Rural Street into the North Split, northbound 6570. Stop and go from Michigan Street up to the North Split. Traffic sponsored by Discover. Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a game-changing checking account with cashback. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC. I'm Matt Baer on the 5s at WIBC Traffic.
Have you heard? The Xfinity Mobile Black Friday sale is on now. Don't miss out on a free line of unlimited for 2 years when you switch to Xfinity Internet. That's over $1,000 in savings. Plus, see how to get up to $800 off an eligible 5G phone. Join the millions who have switched to one of the fastest growing mobile services. Now through December 5th, new customers can get a free line of unlimited intro mobile for 2 years with Xfinity Fast Internet. Plus, see how you can save even more with up to $800 off the latest 5G phones. It's your chance to get connected to the fastest mobile service with 5G cellular and millions of Wi-Fi hotspots. This offer won't last. Go to Xfinity.com/Black Friday sale, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. After promo, regular rates apply to service and devices. Actual internet speeds vary. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Reduced mobile speeds after 20 gigabytes of usage. Data thresholds may vary.
Extended Black Friday. Up to 52% off all products, plus 10% in manufacturer rebates. For a limited time only, go to bwindow.com.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Scattered flurries this morning were partly cloudy and cold this afternoon. Today's high 27. Tonight, partly cloudy, cold but quiet, a low down to 21. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
Still some light flurries on radar, 19 on Monument Circle. I'm Kurt Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, November 28th, 6 minutes after 9. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. What's that look for? Already you're giving me the eye?
No, it's fine. You have this beautiful template put together and you put a lot of work into it. And I'm going to just blow it all up here for a second because we get so much crap on this show. You all are so mean to these politicians and you never have anything nice to say. So I thought we might start the show today, and I'm going to just do a little impromptu.
Go for it.
Saying something nice about a local politician.
Okay.
Now, Friday, I may not say something nice about him, but at least for this moment in time, the mayor of Lebanon, Matt Gentry, got back to us.
Yeah.
And, of course, we've been very critical of this whole LEAP district and this plan to siphon off millions of gallons of water daily from Tippecanoe County to Boone County for that LEAP district. And to his credit, Matt Gentry, we've said some not so nice things about him and that plan. He manned up and he said, I'll see you Friday.
Okay. So he has said that there's enough water for the Lilly Project and also the current residents in Boone County.
Yeah, what about the rest of the...
But if there's more projects coming, that's where there might be an issue.
And look, we give credit where credit's due. And so it comes back to the thing yesterday with Rokita being a complete wuss and being Billy Badass with Hammer and Nigel and Tony Kennett. And then when we offer, say, hey, say it to our face, brah. And then it's radio silence. Matt Gentry, the mayor of Lebanon, says, hey, look, we clearly disagree on this. We're going to come in. I'm going to come in there, and we're going to talk about it.
He ain't scared.
No. So we give.
All right, good.
We're going to give full credit that the mayor of Lebanon has the cojones to come in, and the
Attorney General does not.
Fake tough guy Todd Rokita apparently does not. So all we can ask, all we ask is that people answer the questions. Reasonable people are going to disagree. I'm sure, Casey, 100%. No mind is going to be changed in the room when we have that conversation, but we give people credit when they're willing to come in and answer the questions.
Stand by their word.
Absolutely.
Show some conviction. Somebody was giving us a hard time saying that we're being too rough on Todd Rokita because
he's an innocent victim, Casey.
He's fighting the culture wars here in Indiana.
That's not his job, though. His job is to enforce the Constitution, the laws of the state of Indiana. Now, I know a little bit later we're going to get into Rokita just taking a giant crap on the whole Delphi thing, which is totally ridiculous. Here's what I think, Casey. Because Todd is clearly not going to respond to us. Micah is going to join us later. I know he reached out to Todd and told Todd's people and said, should do the same thing. So since fake tough guy Todd Rokita is not going to respond, and they listen, they've admitted they listen, so they hear it. It's just like Todd Young's people. Here's what I think we should do, and maybe we'll run this by Micah because he's a voice of reason later on in the hour. I think tomorrow, you and I should walk over a formal invitation to Todd Rokita's office and drop it off in person.
You think?
Because the last time I did this...
I like how you're roping me in on this.
Well, look, you knew what you signed up for. I warned you about taking this job, Casey.
You did.
I warned you about... I did everything in my power to keep you from taking this job. I said, sister, you are entering a world the likes you've never seen before.
Oh, you know what? Nobody told me I'd be picking a fight with the Attorney General.
Well, okay, so if you remember, the last time I did a walkover invite or questionnaire, it was to the governor's office, and we got the golden response of it would not serve Hoosiers well, which we have now used for essentially 2 years on this show. And Rokita is so unhinged, he may give us something even better. So I am thinking, Todd, I think we're coming tomorrow. We're going to drop off this invitation since you're too chicken to let us know if you'll come on the show or not. I think we're going to walk it over tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. It is 10 minutes after 9.
Rob
It's
Kendall.
Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Rob Kendall was shot on sight outside the state house.
Oh, no. Do not use me as a human shield, please. Do you think Todd Rokita likes cookies, or like we can bring some Christmas cookies with him, kind of butter him up a little, soften it?
There's no...
You said you want to try and get along.
Well, I think that ship has sailed based on the fact that after I said that, the day later...
That he called us clowns?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
So I think we'll be over there tomorrow, and we'll drop off that invitation in person, and I regrets to the person who has to work the front desk at the Attorney General's office tomorrow.
For anybody watching on the YouTube channel, I'm blinking twice. That's my signal for help. Okay, let's talk about what Joe Biden did yesterday. He had his new supply chain council meeting, and in it...
His what?
His supply chain council meeting.
That's a real thing.
That's a real thing.
Here's an idea. Just open the country up.
Yeah.
You know when the supply chain got affected, Casey? When they shut the country down.
When they shut it down.
You know why it's still in a bad shape? Because of Pete Buttigieg.
That guy. Well, Joe Biden says that he has helped lower inflation. Do you believe that one? He's warning companies against price gouging and says that his administration was working to lower costs for U.S. families.
They're doing what?
Yes, they're working to lower costs for U.S.
They're
families.
working to.
They're working to do it. According to a new Fox News poll, 78% of people say that the economy is only fair or poor. Only 3% say it's excellent.
Wait, what percentage say fair or poor?
78%.
78%. That appears because their message, the talking point on the shows has been, your life is great. You just don't understand how great it actually is. And we've got a messaging problem. It's not a your life sucks problem. It appears the American people are saying, no, our life really sucks.
No, there's complete lack of empathy from that administration.
And isn't it so disheartening that we live in a country that has been so blessed by God that we have essentially unlimited natural resources. We have, based on the Constitution that was set up to protect us as citizens, unlimited freedom and unlimited ability with that to unleash innovation and the ability to create great lives, not just for the tippy top, but for a thriving, just outstanding middle class. And we being society and the idiots that we elect have hindered that to the point where the American people are now 78% of people are saying, get ready, bow, we're in for a problem.
Okay, so 4 in 10 voters in swing states said that the economy is their number one issue for the presidential election. This is according to Bloomberg News and the Morning Consult poll. And they also report that the cost of living squeeze is robbing Americans of 20% of their income. Inflation rate still the highest we've seen in 40 years.
So they're saying 20% of your income is just going out the door thanks to inflation. It's not we have a spending problem. It's not we're buying new things. It's not I've had a lifestyle change in that my spending has gotten more excessive. It is simply because of the magical money printing factory that was engaged by Democrats and Republicans alike, and the refusal, because as you remember, people like Todd Young, although now he's got some sort of debt commission, right? Wasn't he in favor of some sort of debt, which is so weird that he told me in a room full of people, I'm never stopping spending the money, but yet then he wants the debt commission. I think someone with a license to conduct therapy needs to sit Todd Young on a couch and say, let's work through this together. But because of people like Todd Young, who regularly lines up with the Democrats to spend seemingly unlimited amounts of money, this is not being solved. And so you are forcing people, because wages are not keeping up with inflation, people like Todd Young, and by default the Republicans in the House, because they've done nothing to fix this issue, are diluting the buying power of Americans through no fault of their own.
According to the Census Bureau survey, food has risen 32% in the last 3 years, and it now costs $1.1927 to buy the same goods and services that it cost $100 in 2020. So you're paying an extra $19.27 for every $100.
It's unsustainable. It's also completely unnecessary, but that is simply unsustainable. Now you've done very well in life. I know you live in a high rise. You've chosen to live in the greater Indy metro area, so there's not a large plot of land that you could undoubtedly afford. I mean, you could probably buy the South Fork Ranch if you wanted to.
Sure,
but you've
Rob.
chosen to live closer to the people. But even you, when you go to the grocery store, have got to be saying, yikes.
Even me. Well, when you're paying nearly $20 for, I don't know, a roll of, foil,
how much?
It's like $20 for aluminum foil.
No way.
Aluminium, yeah. Okay, so
wait. What? You're talking about like the
Reynolds
wrap or whatever that's called?
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
just to cover your leftovers.
Oh my gosh, if I had known that, I never would have put that pie we baked for Thanksgiving under Reynolds wrap if I had known it was costing that much for me to do that.
Yes, it is. All right, well, here's your president claiming that Thanksgiving dinner is one of the cheapest ever on record.
In fact, as a share of earnings this Thanksgiving, dinner was the 4th cheapest ever on record. I want you all to know that. I look at all the press, look at that.
And they clap.
Yeah. They don't believe him. So it's, of course, a complete lie.
So he wants you to believe that in 1950 Thanksgiving this year, in 2023 was cheaper than Thanksgiving dinner in 1955.
Yes, that's what he wants you to believe.
And somebody clapped for that. Some seal in the back was like, my job depends on this. Yay. Isn't that amazing that the guy can just straight lie? And it's not even a good lie. It's not even a lie where people are like, I need to really research that. It's just completely ridiculous. And there are still people who will actually applaud.
Who still clap. Yay, you go.
What if I'm convinced if he came out and said the earth is square, that someone would clap for that. I mean, that is the point we have reached now, Casey, where we are these tribalistic sheep. It doesn't matter what and it's both sides, right? It doesn't matter what nonsensical garbage comes out of these politicians' mouth. The tribalistic sheep will applaud for it. That is gross that somebody clapped for that.
Well, we've got a lot more on Bidenomics to share with you. And coming up next, Rob, I came across this last night and I thought, well, we're just going to have to do one of these every day until your head actually explodes.
Oh, how exciting.
It's something from the governor, and it's on the way from 93 WIBC.
Hey, Casey.
Yeah, Rob.
Did you hear Bill Demery, our retirement guy, is helping Indy residents at an instant 13% bonus on top of their retirement savings?
Wait, so like every $100 gets you an extra $13 more?
Oh, yeah, and it adds up. You can get $13,000 for every $100,000.
13%, that's a heck of a bonus.
It is, and then you get an extremely competitive return year after year. Over the last 10 years, it's been 7% and backed by one of the world's largest insurance companies.
I guess that's why Indy calls Bill Demery your retirement guy. So if our listeners want their 13% bonus, what should they do?
Just call Bill Demery at 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912, but it may not last long, so call 317-932-9912. Casey, give us that phone number one more time.
317-932-9912. And past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
The leaves have fallen, the air is crisp, and IU basketball is back with big shoes to fill. Good thing Mike Woodson has reloaded.
Fires up a three and hits!
With the return of Xavier Johnson, Malik Renew, and exciting freshman Mackenzie Mbako. The Big Ten season gets underway with Maryland Friday.
Put it back up on
John Herrick has the pregame at 6. Don Fisher with the tip-off at 7 on your home for IU basketball. 93 WIBC.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I have terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
It's time to celebrate the moment with a trip to Barrington Jewels and Clearwater Crossing. Give the perfect gift this year with new designs, breathtaking diamonds and gemstones, emeralds, rubies, sapphires, and more. Plus, top watch brands like Rolex, Breitling, Omega, and Tag Heuer, including pre-owned for even more savings. And right now, for every $1,000 you spend, you'll receive a $100 gift card. Don't wait. Get to Barrington Jewels today. And remember, you haven't seen a diamond, until you've seen a Barrington diamond.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
Life is a collection of moments that last forever, so make them matter and make them count with a symbol of everlasting love. A diamond from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
It's the Kendall and Casey Show. WIBC.
You all need to know that America is not sending their best and brightest, to Washington, D.C.
It is 23 minutes after 9. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Are you familiar with the Pure Michigan ads?
Why, I am, Casey, and it just so happens that if you watch us on the YouTube, if you go to the YouTube and put Kendall and Casey, and you'll see this now famous sign that is often behind me, which says "My governor is an idiot," and it says "Pure Moron" under it, and it's of course a play on the Pure Michigan ads.
Yeah, voiced by Tim Allen.
Yes,
they were famous.
Absolutely,
did a wonderful job for a long time, done by the tourism department of Michigan. Guess what?
What?
Indiana's got its own version now.
Oh, of course we do, Casey.
Yes. Governor Holcomb and Imagine Indiana, which is a nonprofit organization that promotes the great state of Indiana, they released 62 videos.
They released how many?
62 videos.
Oh, because in case 61 wasn't enough, we wanted to throw one on there at the end. Right.
These are touting the state's top attractions, and they're dubbed all around Indiana.
Oh, well, okay.
And these it features different things like a buffalo preserve, caves, parks, racing, plus a variety of different industries.
Right.
Here's the kicker, Rob. We don't have Tim Allen voicing ours.
No, we don't. What celebrity did we get? Like, was it John Mellencamp?
David Letterman?
Was it David Letterman? Was it Peyton Manning, perhaps?
Yeah.
Who did we get?
We got Eric Holcomb. Yes, he said this is part of his effort to bring Indiana to the world and the world to Indiana.
Oh.
And now these videos aren't just targeted at tourists. They're to show off some of the special attractions that make Indiana such a first-rate destination to live.
So of all the people, because part of the lure of the Pure Michigan ad is it's Tim Allen reading the ad. Like, it's Tim the Toolman Taylor. It's the Santa Claus.
Right.
All the other things, great stand-up comedian. It's Tim Allen, who is super identified. I mean, hell, the show took place, if you remember, in Michigan. He is intimately identified with the state of Michigan. And so there is a certain fondness that when you hear the ad and the piano in the background, you go, oh my gosh, it's Tim the Toolman Taylor telling me to come to Michigan because everyone knows who Tim Allen is. But in this narcissistic ass's world, well, I'm bigger than any possible celebrity in the state of Indiana. Everyone would know who I am. I'm Eric the Red. I'm Lockdown McGee. I'm High Tax Holcomb. Who better than moi to read the ad?
Yeah. Okay. So all around Indiana's website calls it a personal project of the governor's, and it's not related to any campaigns or politics.
Oh,
it's just strictly to highlight.
Oh, it just happens.
Indiana.
It's just probably tens of millions of dollars of free publicity, air quote free, to which he's going to link his name to. It's like when remember during COVID when he had those press conferences every week and you would look at it and go, well, other than you doing the exact opposite of what you're telling us to do, I don't know, like Dr. Box gynecologist not wearing a mask at her kid's wedding, or you giving us all the rules and then taking those selfies in the diner without your mask there, Lockdown McGee. What was the purpose of this? And then you quickly realize the purpose was to get himself on statewide television with a bully pulpit every single day or every single week because it just happened to be an election year, Casey.
Okay, well, he is voicing all of these, and I thought, well, what a treat. Let's play one a day.
You would not do that to
Until
me.
either your head explodes or you just really can't take it anymore.
You would absolutely, no matter how much you may hate me, you would not do that to me.
I figure, you know what? Let's do a gentle rollout for you and take one of the 62 videos on a topic that you like. Actually, I thought this would be a soft way of introducing these videos to you.
Great.
Here we go. He's talking about Indiana golf courses.
When visitors come to Indiana for business, the first question's usually, where can I golf? Well, we've got golf courses across northern, central, and southern Indiana. And they're not just any old golf courses. We have Pete Dye courses, PGA Tour courses, the iconic Brickyard Crossing, and other courses from legendary architects. At French Lick Resort alone, you'll find courses designed by Pete Dye, Donald Ross, and Tom Bendelow. In fact, there's nowhere else in the world you can play courses from all three legends in one place. French Lick also has some of the best views in America, so even after a bad swing, you can just look out over the sunset and admire the beauty on the horizon.
Don't you just want to stab yourself with an ice pick every time you hear his voice?
I mean, I do like the idea because it does make me proud of Indiana. And the videos are, they're shot very nicely and there's a lot of drone shots and it highlights all of the different areas around the state. But, yeah, the voiceover is what does
Imagine
it for
thinking
me.
no one would sell this state like me. Of all the very famous, distinguished Hoosiers still living who are either from the state or, intimately associated with the state of Indiana, this guy is so narcissistic that he said, no one would get people to come here better than me.
All right, 1 down, 61 to go. If you want to watch these videos, they're at allaroundindiana.com. We've got Micah Beckwith who's joining us next on 93 WIBC.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin. Thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
So is it over? Some light flurries still on radar. 19 degrees downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. A 2-day extension of a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas took effect this morning, but is it over before it even begins? Fox's Jonathan Savage.
The Israeli Defense Forces report 3 devices exploded near troops in 2 different parts of northern Gaza. At one of those locations, the IDF says what it calls terrorists opened fire and the Israelis fired back. A number of soldiers, we're told, were slightly injured. There's no word on whether these alleged incidents will jeopardize ongoing negotiations to release Israeli hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
A tribute service for the late former First Lady Rosalind Carter will be held in Georgia today. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden will be in attendance, along with former President Jimmy Carter. Carter's attendance comes despite him being in hospice care. Now your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. We're in the red to start the day, but only slightly. The Dow is down 7 to 35,366. The NASDAQ down 37 to 15,971. And the S&P 500 is off 7.5 to 4,553. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Amber and Nigel here. When it comes to health, there are numbers every man needs to know, including your testosterone number. We recommend Low T Center. They make it quick and easy to get your levels checked, and it's only $25. Walk in, take a simple blood test, and you'll know results in about 25 minutes.
Low T can make you feel tired and grumpy. It can cause lack of motivation and drive. It can raise cholesterol, cause weight gain, loss of muscle mass. LowTCenter.com. Book online right now. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
911, what's your emergency?
Por favor, necesito ayuda. Estaba orando y creo que me va a pegar otra vez.
I will get someone to speak with you. Please stay on the line.
Hola, tengo su ubicación. Ayuda está en camino.
Getting past a language barrier is critical when first responders help Hoosiers. That's why the State 911 Board provides special tools for non-English speaking citizens to communicate with emergency services.
Si estás en peligro, aunque no hables inglés, podrás recibir ayuda en una emergencia rápidamente.
All Indiana 911 centers began offering translation services in over 240 languages in 2019. Now, people can send text messages for help in their native language to 911 and receive a translated text back from the dispatcher. It's of great help to the deaf and speech impaired and to those in select dangerous situations.
Cuando llame o envíe un texto al 911, un servicio de traducción se asegurará que entiendan lo que está diciendo.
For more information, visit in911.net.
Gracias.
911. Before you text, voice is best.
At Absolute Wealth Management, LLC, we understand that your retirement and taxes are inseparable. And if you're over 50, we're offering a special deal to kickstart your financial journey in 2024. You can have your 2023 tax return prepared and filed, including Schedules A, B, and D, for just $79.95. This can be the start of a lifelong profitable partnership with Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. All our retirement planning clients will continue to receive the substantial discount for tax filing and preparation as part of our ongoing retirement marathon that focuses on protecting everything you've worked so hard to build while still providing growth to help elevate your lifestyle in retirement. Take absolute control of your retirement. Call us now at 317-288-0634, 317-288-0634, or visit AbsoluteWealthManagementLLC.com. Investment advisory services offered through Gradient Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Gradient Advisors, LLC, and its advisors do not render tax, legal, or accounting advice.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC, it is the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob, Casey's here, and look, Casey, I am the last person to point out anyone's flaws. You know that.
Sure.
But we have to do that here because one of our guests has let us down, and he joins us now on the WIBC hotline. Micah Beckwith. All right, Beckwith, you were supposed to be in charge last week. We gave you very clear instructions to reach out to phony tough guy Todd Rokita because we were interested in maybe seeing if there were areas we could coexist and get along. And the very next day, he came on Tony Kennett's show and was very mean to me. You failed.
Okay, first of all, I didn't know where that was coming or going there when you said I did something wrong. But, hey, I think that was probably already on the docket. I mean, that's not a coincidence that the very next day he just happened to be on Tony's show. I mean, Tony has to work weeks out in advance to get guests on, I'm sure, doesn't he?
Yeah, what is he, Maury Povich? Yes, absolutely. No, I mean, you called the guy, right? You called one of Rokita's guys and said you should probably take Rob and Casey up on this, and the very next day, he couldn't help himself.
Well, I didn't call them. They texted me and they said, "Hey, great job on Rob's show." They do listen.
They do listen
to you. So, but no, I think I think he still would be open to it. I don't think it was because he went on Tony's show. He's not going to come on your show. I think you and Todd would have a great open discussion. I think it'd be great for the listeners. I think he'd be able to defend himself just fine. There's only one person in all of Indiana that the left hates more than me, and it's Todd Rokita, and he's good at defending his positions and what he believes because he has to do it when it comes to the left every single day. So, I mean, I think he should come on your show. I think you'd be a walk in the park. I think so.
What a peacemaker Micah is. But Micah, he called us clowns.
Hey, listen, I like clowns. Clowns are fun. They're funny. They bring joy to kids. I mean, come on.
What am I wearing, big floppy shoes?
No, you were wearing boots, and then you had to take them off, is what you told me before this phone call started here. So you're.
Casey was like, "Hey, Pastor, let me tell you about how I disrobed in my car."
It's true. I didn't know we were going to talk about that, but the boots were a little snug, so I had to switch them out. But Micah, did he say anything? Did his people say anything like "no way" or "yes, we'll consider it"?
No, I think they're open. I mean, hey, listen, Todd is Todd. I don't think Todd's gonna do what Todd does, and so I think, but I think they were open to that. I think the response I got back was like, yeah, sure, we'll throw this out to him and see if he would do it. So I think just keep reaching out to him. I'll certainly put in a good word for you guys when I see him next time.
Well, I mean, look, you're a grown ass man, Micah, and you're not afraid of people, and it's kind of pathetic that he'll go on Hammer and Nigel and take shots at me, and he'll go on Tony Kinnett and take shots at me, and we were like, dude, you clearly listen. Just come in and say it to my face, and he's like, nah.
Hey. I think the phone works both ways there, Rob. You have Todd's number. You should just shoot him a text and send him
Micah, if I call him, I'm going to end up on a watch list somewhere.
You're already on about 14, so what's one more?
I'll be spending time next to that guy that called Jim Banks' office repeatedly. I mean, come on. We all know how this is going to go.
That's funny. I've heard that sells. It's like the Rich Charles nowadays. The jail cells in America. So you'll be fine.
Okay, Casey. Here's what we have to do. I've given this a lot of thought.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Were you here last year when I tried to correspond with the governor's office and they wouldn't respond back?
Well, yeah, and you went over with your list of questions,
yes,
right?
Absolutely. And then finally, that. Erin something or other, I think was her name, responded with the infamous...
It would not serve Hoosiers well.
Yeah, that's correct. So here's what I think we got to do is... what's your schedule like tomorrow, Casey?
Well, I'm pretty open for you, Rob. Yeah.
Here's what I think we ought to do. I think tomorrow, that'd be Wednesday, we ought to waltz our behinds over there to the State House and just drop off an invitation in person to Rokita. What do you think?
That's what he needs?
Yeah.
I'll have to do that before I go on the Tony Kinnett cast.
What do you think, Micah? You want to come with us? You want to walk over there and drop this off to Rokita in person?
Hey, don't bring this evil on my house, too, man. You guys be you, all right?
You know what, though? Rob? I'm kind of torn with this idea.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, we don't need to beg him to come on our show. Clearly, we have thousands of listeners,
well,
as he pointed out.
He's listening,
yes. So if he doesn't want to engage, I think that says more about him than it does us.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and Beckwith will tell you this is true because Rokita is a self-absorbed narcissist. My words, not Micah's. He will totally bow up the entire day anticipating us to come, and that would absolutely ruin his day. And so I'm doing this for me, not for him. Casey.
Okay, so let's just put it out there that we might do it. Maybe we'll go over there.
Micah, I'm so terribly sorry. We have hijacked your entire segment here, and you deserve so much.
I'm still here, just listening, enjoying the conversation. So,
and by the way, if you're considering becoming a delegate in 2024, Micah in no way endorses anything we say on this show. In fact, he rather regularly loathes everything that comes out of our mouth. Hey, so Mike Braun's running an ad on TV, and I saw it 3 times during the college football game on Saturday. 3 times, and the whole ad is about how he's endorsed by Trump. Not a single solitary thing he plans to do for the state of Indiana. I still really have no idea what any of these people want to do specifically. Do you?
Well, they need to do a better job of putting out their own ideas. I think you hit the nail on the head. Sometimes they get too locked into saying, well, these are who my friends are, and so vote for me because of my friends. Well, no, it's not. That's not really a great reason to vote for somebody. I mean, your friends can tell you a little bit about who somebody is, but more than anything, I think voters want to know, what are you going to do for the state? What are you going to do for me and my family? How are you going to protect the values and that I hold dear? And so I do think that you got to be careful. If Mike Braun is just going to run on Trump endorse me, that's probably going to backfire a little bit. Even though there's a lot of Trump support in Indiana, you gotta come to the table with here's how I'm going to address property taxes. Here's how I'm going to address the Bidenomics and inflation, and here's how I'm going to address illegal immigration. And because all those things affect Hoosiers, and so we want to know that, like, how are you going to deal with some of the pressing issues of the day.
Yeah, because when you go out, you're on all these, what do they call them, Lincoln Days and breakfasts, and you're maintaining your girlish figure quite well, by the way. I'm very impressed. Despite all these breakfasts and dinners you're eating, you haven't really gained any weight. What do people want to talk to you about? Are we way out in left field saying, oh my gosh, this property tax thing, such a big issue. Whoever's first to that's probably going to win. I mean, are we way off? What do people want to talk about?
No, that's exactly what people want to talk about. They want to talk about kitchen table issues. So it's things like property taxes. And a kitchen table issue that I'm hearing a lot about is, what are my kids being forced to learn in school now when I'm not there as their parent? What are these indoctrination centers doing to my kids? Like, that has become a kitchen table issue. We used to think that was a social issue. Well, no, parents are really concerned with what their kids are learning now when they're not there to kind of, they saw in 2020, they saw what was happening. So that's a kitchen table issue. Other kitchen table issues are some of the national stuff. Like, what are we doing with border security? I mean, that is a kitchen table issue for Hoosiers, because they are concerned that border security is impacting our jobs here in Indiana. It's impacting our safety here in Indiana. Even though we're not a border state, it's still impacting us. So those are the things that I get bombarded with when people are talking to me when I'm at these Lincoln Days or out making the rounds across the state.
Micah Beckwith, our guest. Casey, yes, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that, Mike Braun did release his freedom and opportunity agenda, something we're going to discuss coming up.
Sounds made up.
I'm wondering if Mike has had a chance to review it. He said one of his big things is going to be his approach to education and also healthcare. Those are two things that are in his freedom and opportunity agenda.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm certainly excited to look at it. I would be really interested to see what he's going to do with education. So, I think on healthcare, there's some free market stuff that a governor could put in place. I think the issue with healthcare is the free market has been pushed out, and we've become a government mandated basically marketplace, and that doesn't work. And so you got to let the free market do what the free market does. A governor could really help spin things back the right direction if he just says, hey, let the free market work and get the government out of the way. But as far as education goes, boy, you appoint the superintendent of education as the governor. I'd love to see who he's talking about putting in that spot, because that's a really important spot when you're dealing with statewide education. I want to know what he thinks about DEI officers in schools, because I think that's a colossal waste of money, and it feeds into the division that we already see within our schools running rampant. So those are some of the things I hope he addresses in that statement he puts out.
All right, Micah, before we let you go, Casey, Sunday was a big day for Micah and the entire Life Church community. They for some reason, I have no idea why, they asked me to do the announcements for all three services on Sunday. Beckwith, have you ever seen a church erupt in applause when a person seemingly just walked out on stage to say, here's some announcements about the church?
So I think some people would be like, wait, he's actually saved? He's a Christian?
Didn't you say somebody came up to you, like heard the ads and went to the church and goes, Rob's really doesn't engage in devil worship?
That has been said before. No, here's the great thing, Casey. This was what we were backstage in the green room. We call it the Dream Team room. And Rob's, he's a little nervous. He's going over his notes. I'm like, Rob, you'll be fine. Like, just be you. And he's like, listen, Micah, he's like, I talk to 10, 15, 20,000 people on a daily basis, but here's the trick. I never have to see them. Now I'm looking out and I see a room full of 500-600 people, and they're looking back at me. I'm freaking out here.
Yeah, I mean, I walked out there and it's like, oh my gosh, there's people here, and I had to I got through it, but it's very distracting to see people looking back at me.
No, you know what I think it is, Micah, because I've seen Rob speak in public in front of people many times, and he does a fantastic job, never uses notes, and it just comes right off his tongue. I think what the issue was that he knows that the meaning was very important on what he was doing on Sunday.
You're such a mom, Casey. That's why I love you. You just bring the loving mother touch.
I got your back, Rob. I am the wall for you to push off of.
He did a fantastic job, Casey. You would have been proud. Good. As the motherly figure in his life. You would have been very proud, and he did a great job. He He only made one mistake, and the ushers were quick to point it out. So,
of course.
But he corrected in the other services, so it was great.
We'll go with this. So I go back. I made one minor mistake, and I go back, and the usher guy just like deadpans, no good job or nothing. You forgot to do this, and then Micah goes, Rob, it's fine. Their spiritual gift is complaining.
Fantastic. I think I have that gift too.
Micah, you're the best. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, guys. Love you guys.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, more prisoners released by Hamas, and is the U.S. economy better than we're letting on? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
If you need to sell your home during the holidays, quick, fast, and guaranteed is what you want. Make selling your home easy without sacrificing profit by calling Mark Dietl. Maybe you want maximum equity from your home, but not sure how. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Cindy and George in Indianapolis had to say about working with Mark Dietl. A job relocation with a hard start date had us scrambling to get our house sold fast. Mark launched his intense marketing plan, and he got multiple offers. We sold for the price we needed in plenty of time to move, with money in our pocket for our next home. Call for all the details. Call the agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold, or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietl at 317-755-4232, or go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com. markdietl.com.
When it comes to illegal immigration, there's only one true conservative running for U.S. Senate this year. That's Trump-endorsed Jim Banks. Jim Banks has a plan, and it's simple. If you're caught in this country illegally, you're sent back to where you came from. Got that? No? Okay, well, let me repeat it. When Jim Banks is the senator, his policy on illegal immigration will be as follows. If you're in the country illegally, you're going back to where you came from. Mi casa is no longer tu casa, my friends. Jim Banks, Navy veteran, Trump endorsed. A simple plan for dealing with illegal immigration. Jim Banks for U.S. Senate. American Leadership PAC is responsible for the content of this message. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.americanleadershippac.org.
You only have one heart, so let's keep it near everyone it beats for. Franciscan Health is leading the way as the only hospital in Indiana to be recognized as one of HealthGrade's 100 best hospitals for cardiac care and coronary intervention in 2024. We're delivering award-winning heart care in your neighborhood, near everyone you love, because our greatest reward is caring for you. Learn more about our compassionate, patient-focused approach to heart care. Visit us at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey,
5.6%.
Hammer and Nigel,
Biden.
podcasts. Listen to the station live, whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com.
Good morning, 10 minutes away from 10. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Coming up later this week, Rob, I'm going to be in Brownsburg.
What?
Right by your place.
Coming to my house?
Well, maybe I'll stop by, see the baby. Get a little cuddle? No, I'm going to be at Premier Arms.
Oh.
This is Thursday, 6 p.m. It is a town hall meeting with Charles Bookwalter.
Wait. People can meet you in the flesh?
In the flesh.
That's exciting.
Guy Relford is also going to be there.
But they have to meet Guy Relford as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't just choose?
Well, they can if they want. I mean, we're not going to be connected at the hip. We're both going to be there. But this is a town hall meeting with Charles Bookwalter. He's the Republican candidate for Congress in your district.
How exciting. So you will be there. Guy Relford will be there. Charles Bookwalter, who is running against Jim Baird, who, again, if you live in the 4th Congressional District, which I have the great misfortune of doing, you have got to get rid of Jim Baird. I mean, that guy is a joke. He's a goof. He's a disgrace. He's setting it up for his loser kid, who's a state rep, to take his seat when he decides to bid adieu. I mean, this guy has been horrific. And God bless Charles Bookwalter. It is not easy to challenge an entrenched incumbent. And Charles, we've had him on the show multiple times. Very conservative, former military
Green Beret.
Green Beret, yeah.
So,
and he's actually trying to campaign. He's trying to raise money. He's going to the events. He's pressing the flesh. And so this would be a phenomenal opportunity for people to hear this guy speak. He's very articulate, very good speaker, and they get to meet you.
Yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm just introducing Charles. So
you give great introductions.
A little bit part.
Your introductions are so out of this world. I will never, ever do a public speaking event again that you are not doing the introduction,
really?
Casey. Oh, my gosh.
I'm
so
a good
great.
hype man.
Oh, you are phenomenal. Yes, absolutely.
Well, I'll be introducing Charles, and this is, again, this Thursday, 6 p.m. at Premier Arms in Brownsburg.
And you can come by my house afterwards, Casey.
Yeah, it's a free event, but donations for the Bookwalter for Congress are welcome.
Okay,
by the way,
very good.
Limited space, so if you want to go, make your plan.
It's Thursday.
Thursday, 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Yep, me and the gun guy are going to be there.
Very good.
All
How
right.
exciting.
Hey, did you hear that the Merriam-Webster announced their word of the year for 23?
I cheated.
Yeah,
because,
you saw this?
Well, I was perusing around the various Urban One radio stations in our little cluster here, and I had it on the B1057 this morning. And as I was coming into work, and Sean Copeland said what this was, but I won't steal your thunder or your thunder or the anticipation of the masses. Tell us, Casey, what was the Merriam-Webster word of the year?
The word of the year for 2023 is authentic.
That was interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. They said that this is a nod to the rise of artificial intelligence and that they saw a substantial increase in searches for the word authentic, driven by conversations about AI, celebrity culture, identity, and also social media.
Well, isn't it fascinating? And we have talked about this numerous times about how the AI stuff is totally out of control. And for someone who has, I don't know if you know this, I have 20/10 vision. I've told you that story before.
Yes, I do know that.
The last time I went to I hate bringing stuff up about myself, but the last time I went to the eye doctor, I don't know if I told you the story before, I got to the bottom row, and the guy was like, oh my gosh, almost nobody ever makes it to the bottom row. The rest of me may be falling apart. I don't know, but my eyes are pretty darn good. And you know why? It's because my grandmother told me as a kid, if you eat carrots will help your eyesight. And so I was long a carrot eater.
Yeah. How's your knee doing, by the way? You had that issue last week.
It still hurts.
You said you're falling apart.
I can walk without pain now, though, but it still very much hurts. Okay, but it is interesting, right? To the untrained eye, or people who have vision issues or whatever, there is no doubt that these deep fakes, and they're improving by the week, right? They're getting better and better and better. They still look a little off to me, but people who aren't blessed with my incredible eyesight, it's a scary time.
Well, we're going to feature one later in the show who actually sings, and her name is Anna Indiana. So we'll see if we're going to claim her. But speaking of AI, there is this writer for Sports Illustrated. His name is Drew Ortiz, and
I think it's probably Ortiz, right?
Ortiz, whatever.
Ortiz.
It doesn't matter. He's not real.
Oh, he's not real.
He's not real. Doesn't even exist. He's got a headshot and everything.
Oh, no.
Yes. And apparently, Sports Illustrated, his headshot is for sale. They bought it from an AI website. This person wrote entire articles, and then when Sports Illustrated was questioned about this, guess what they did? deleted every article from this AI writer.
I better hurry up and sign that contract because we're going to get replaced by robots.
It's 6 minutes, actually 4 minutes in front of 10. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And by the way, we're real and we're spectacular.
In order for small businesses to thrive, they need to be smart, efficient, savvy, staying ahead of the market at every turn, finding ways to do more with less, and taking advantage of every opportunity that comes their way. That's why Comcast Business is introducing the Small Business Bonus. For a limited time, you can get a $1,000 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle when you switch to Comcast Business, the company with the largest, fastest, reliable network. Yep, you heard that right. 1,000 back. Something extra for your company. From the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. So if you're a small business owner, don't wait. Call or go online to learn about the $1,000 bonus today. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/5/2023. New customers with Gigabit Extra Internet, Security Edge, and One Voice Mobility Line with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply. Call or go online for details.
So the purchase of new homes is at an all-time low. That means you're staying put. So if you want to improve your space, consider calling Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Their chip system offers stylish, durable floor options. They have a variety of patterns and colors, and it will make any concrete around your house look better. I'm talking about any space in your house that has concrete, like the garage, the patio, the driveway, pool deck coating, anywhere. They're working through the cold weather, too. 317-751-9070. You can also find them online, galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword info 42 to 866-482-9559. That's info 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Recent data from the FDIC reveals 53 top banks could soon collapse just like Silicon Valley Bank. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon, and I urge you to diversify your savings today using a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To find out more, get a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. So text SHELTER to the number 989898 and protect what's yours.
Coming up in 2 minutes, a shooting at a bar in a popular part of town, plus the response from the Delphi judge in a petition by Richard Allen's lawyers, plus what they call a bad loss by the Indiana Pacers. I'm Kurt Darling. That and more coming up from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
Will the extended ceasefire hold? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. There was a flare-up of fighting between Israel and Hamas in Gaza on the first of a 2-day extension to the pause.
The IDF is claiming that 3 explosive devices detonated in the northern Gaza Strip right near IDF soldiers in 2 locations. In one of those locations, Hamas terrorists and IDF soldiers exchanged gunfire, resulting in several injuries, those injuries not believed to be severe.
Hamas is blaming Israel, as Fox's Nate Foy also reports near Gaza.
CIA Director Bill Burns is in Doha meeting with Qatari and Israeli officials to discuss the possibility of extending this temporary ceasefire.
If this deal holds, Hamas expected to set free 20 more Israeli hostages in the swap for more Palestinian prisoners today and tomorrow. A 14-year-old boy has been charged with murder in North Carolina the day after a fight in the gym at Southeast Raleigh High School that's closed today. He's accused of stabbing a 15-year-old who later died.
The woman who identified herself as the suspect's mother told WRAL this, quote, "The whole situation is terrible. I feel bad for the other family, but in return, I feel bad for my son because he was fighting for his life. It wasn't a fair fight."
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. There's an update on the case against Hunter Biden as House Republicans keep investigating his overseas business dealings and if his father, the president, was involved.
Hunter Biden's lawyer sending a letter to the House Oversight Committee saying he has agreed to testify on December 13th or any other date in December.
That's Fox's Ryan Schmelz. Now, we just got word from the Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer that Hunter Biden is trying to play by his own rules, that he's required to appear at a private deposition December 13th, and a public hearing could come later. The president denies any involvement, as Democrats call the investigation a political farce. President Biden's going to Georgia to attend former First Lady Rosalind Carter's memorial service. Jimmy Carter will be there, too. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What led to the shooting? Still some light snow out there, 20 degrees on Monument Circle. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. A security guard at a bar in Broad Ripple was shot overnight. It started with a fight between the bar's manager and a regular. When security got involved, the man fired shots.
And the subject that had the handgun when it came in then ran from this location.
IMPD Captain Don Wildhammer, the security guard, is stable at the hospital. Judge Fran Gull says she was justified in removing Richard Allen's previous legal team from the Delphi murders case. In her response to a petition to have her removed by Allen's current lawyers, Gull says that the previous team was negligent. The state Supreme Court will now make the ultimate decision. A man from Indianapolis accused of dealing drugs will be spending the next 20 years behind bars. Harrison Silcox reports.
Stephen Brown was caught on camera dealing meth 3 times, say court documents, and he was arrested February 23rd, 2 years ago. Police found a gun in his glove box when they pulled him over, and a search warrant of his home is where the cops found 8 more guns, along with fentanyl, meth, heroin, and pills. Brown was found guilty in June for drug trafficking and having guns as a convicted felon. One of his prior convictions was robbery. Once Brown's 2 decades have been served in a prison cell, he'll have 10 more years on probation. Harrison Silcox, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
In a traffic stop on I-64 in Posey County Monday, state troopers arrested 2 women from St. Louis for hauling 10 pounds of meth. The stop along the interstate, which Sergeant Todd Ringel says is a corridor for drug trafficking.
Drugs continue to be a big problem. Methamphetamine is one of those drugs that creates havoc on our streets.
The 2 women were arrested. The Trailblazers have one of the worst records in the NBA, and the Pacers lost to them last night, 114-110.
It's a bad loss. This is a really bad loss for us as a group, and yeah, it's frustrating.
Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton. They hope to get back on track in Miami on Thursday. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey, it's Rob. I started losing hair around my crown, and my hairline was starting to recede. I went to We Grow Hair Indy, and they helped grow my hair back. My friend Dave First, a sports broadcaster for over 20 years, also struggled with hair loss. Dave, what happened?
My thinning hair was bothering me. For me, I'm in the public eye. I'm a dad also, and I want to look and feel my best. And if I'm going to do something about my hair, I want to go with the best. We Grow Hair Indy. They really set the standard.
Dave, that's amazing. I had the same procedure, multi-unit hair grafting transplants, which gives you more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation. Find out if hair transplants or PRP is right for you.
If you're thinking about this, don't waste your time or money. Go to the experts.
Call 317-522-2995, 522-2995, or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard for hair restoration.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, November 28th. It is 5 minutes after 10. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Here we go again. You did this to me last hour. What are you doing now?
I'm just sitting here looking at you read the news.
No. You've got that look.
Well,
what's on your mind?
No,
out with it.
It's not that. I mean, it is a big deal to me. It's probably not to the rest of our audience, but hey, it's half my show, right? So
correct.
My daughter is 5 months old today.
Oh, she is.
I keep track of all of these things.
Yeah.
I am a number dates person, and my daughter has made it 5 months.
Oh, so that was a smile. That was a proud dad face.
Well, I also just try to think of things that will totally throw you off, because I feel like we do our best radio when you're hit with things that you totally don't expect.
Is she crawling yet?
She's getting close. She was doing what appeared to be, this was at 3 a.m, so I was a little groggy, but it appeared she was doing scoots.
Yeah.
It wasn't a crawl.
Yeah.
And it was more like she was using her head to move.
to get it going. I know she's been doing a lot of tummy time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. She's got it. She can sit up. She can do all the things now. She's just, knock on wood, just progressing just fabulously, and has been incredibly blessed by God that she's doing so well. But last night, I was like, well, that's different. And so it's not really a crawl yet, but it is the
momentum,
the evolution of the crawl. And I feel like the crawl is right around the corner.
You know what? So many parents are so excited when they start walking and crawling and think, oh gosh, then they're going to be mobile.
It's a lot harder to parent.
It is. And then you've got to keep track.
It's like she has the bassinet, and she's at the point now where she can get her arm and leg out of the bassinet. She can't quite crawl out yet, but it's like King Kong climbing the Empire State Building. And so now you cannot even leave her in the bassinet unattended, which means I have to do a lot more parenting.
Yes. It's all on you now, Rob. It is 7 minutes after 10. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So President Biden's poll numbers keep getting worse. You know, this month we started off with that New York Times Siena College poll, and it showed Trump ahead in 4 of the 6 swing states. But now all indicators saying, oh boy, it's getting worse for Biden.
It's worse.
Among the latest surveys this month, 13 different pollsters, Biden's position is worse than all of the previous polls.
Okay, so
he's losing it all but 2.
So yesterday, Frank Reich was fired again. By the way, Frank Reich has made like $1 gajillion being a terrible football coach. And,
there's another one.
We did a long segment on this yesterday related to Tom Allen about how this is why people get sideways and squeamish on capitalism. Not because they're lazy loafers who want to sit on the couch all day, but a guy working in a factory or a janitor or, lifting heavy boxes says, well, gosh darn it, I show up every day and I do the job my employer does to their satisfaction, and I can barely pay my bills. This guy stinks at his job and is going to get $15.5 million. And Frank Reich is another example of that, where you just have a guy getting a grotesque amount of money, not his fault. He should totally get as much money legally as he can, no problem there. But my point in all this is Frank Reich was fired for basically the same reasons twice. And that reason is not only have you failed at your job, but in the case of the Panthers and probably the Colts, if you could get Jim Irsay in a coherent moment, these days that's after the... Did you see the Thanksgiving tweet storm that Jim Irsay went on?
Yeah.
Wow, yikes. And somehow that just drifted away and isn't a bigger story, but whatever. I think both David Tepper, who owns the Panthers, and Jim Irsay, who owns the Colts, would tell you it's also the lack of faith in progress going forward. So like Frank Reich was given the duty of Bryce Young is the number 1 pick in the draft. We've traded all these picks to the Bears to get this guy. Not only is your job, we don't expect you to win a Super Bowl this year, but we expect to see tangible progress in this guy, and we expect to see hope and optimism that if we are able to do A, B, and C in free agency this next year and through the draft, our team will be nearing playoff contention. The Panthers stink. They're currently the worst team in the NFL. So not only are you not good, there's no progress or minimal progress with the guy who is your number 1 pick. It's the same thing with Biden. It's not the conditions are bad, right? Conditions come and conditions go, and they come for Democrats and they come for Republicans. It's the lack of hope and optimism that we're turning a corner, or this policy was just instituted, and if we give it 6 months or we give it 3 months, it's going to make everything better. People don't feel that hope and optimism in this country, which is why there's nothing he's going to do that's going to make his poll numbers climb, because the things he's prepared to do are not going to make the country better.
Well, the Inflation Reduction Act, when was that? last year.
Yeah, that's right.
It's been a year
You're
now.
right.
Has it reduced inflation? No, not at all. Prices are not coming down, but it's more than just that. Everybody will say, hey, it's the economy, but he's also losing younger voters and a lot too. But his approval ratings, they're headed downward. So there's the favorability factor, there's the likability factor. So you've got a bad economy, you've got high inflation, you've got him losing younger voters, you have all of his favorability ratings all in the toilet. All of these things are bad for him. Plus, he's been slipping in the polls for months. So as you mentioned, he's on a downward trend, and it doesn't seem, how is he going to pull himself out? He's not.
Government is poison. And Joe Biden should be the latest example of how the idea of government to a somewhat uninformed person or not intricately involved person might sound good in the abstract. So, hey, the government should blah, blah, blah. And the person who doesn't understand history or the realities of government might listen to that and go, yeah, you know what? You're right. Blah, blah, blah. Government should. But the reality is that government, by its design, think about the guardrails the founders put around government from the conception of this country. It wasn't like we founded a country and then all of these guardrails were put in. The guardrails came first. The guardrails were part of the debate of founding the country because the founders knew what a toxin and a poison government was and how almost everything it gets involved in their day 240 years ago or today is going to fail. I'm not going to tell you specifically what this is yet because somebody else has been told they can break this story, and I'm going to let them do it. But there was a thing a couple years ago on the show before you were here where the government, a local government, was proposing to do something incredibly large and incredibly stupid. And me, said this is a disaster and it will totally fail if the government does it. If the private sector does it, it will succeed. If the government tries to do it, it will fail. And there were people in this community who were up in arms that we were publicly talking about it. It created all sorts of a media frenzy on this thing. It had got people super engaged to write letters against the thing. And the thing ultimately failed. And people, as they always do, they said really horrific, awful, terrible things about me, that I hate children and I want kids to die and I want kids to suffer and blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, what this will do is it will force the private sector, it will force the people who want this to engage the private sector. And not only will it get done, it will succeed much better than if the government had done it. Well, Casey, I was informed last night that this thing that we promised, if the government declined this, that it would force the people to do it, and they will do it bigger and they will do it better. And I was told last night, it's going to get done without any public money going into the process, and everyone's very happy, and it's going to be great. It's no different than these stupid referendums. Oh, in Brownsburg, kids could die in the hallways if we don't raise taxes by $100 million. Okay, I'll call your bluff. Well, Casey, we didn't raise the taxes, and what happened? No kids have died in the hallways, and there's still construction like it's going out of style. You don't need the government. The government is a poison. It is a toxin. It is a death sentence to anything it gets involved with and anything it touches. And Joe Biden's problem is every solution involves more government, which has created the problem.
Do you need new wrapping paper for Christmas? Because if you do, Donald Trump has some that he would like for you to purchase.
Of course he does.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
He's unveiled wrapping paper with his mugshot on it.
Oh, no.
Yes, it's part of his Christmas collection. He said he's instructed their team to begin shipping out free rolls of this limited edition wrapping paper to any patriot who contributes $47 or more.
Wait. You got to pay $47 for wrapping paper?
Yep. You get a free roll of wrapping paper, and it's a black and white photo of his mugshot. He's wearing a red Santa hat.
Okay, you strike me as someone who is into wrapping presents.
Well, sure. I'll wrap a present.
Because you're a woman, yeah. Yeah, you're a woman, and wrapping paper is... Kev. Is Kev still here? Kev, get in on this with me. Wrapping paper is the biggest ripoff imaginable. True or false?
Yeah, why would you use wrapping paper when you could just throw it in a bag?
Exactly. I mean, you're going to see. No.
The bag costs just as much money.
No. He's talking like a bag, like a Walmart bag or something.
Yeah, something like that. Or, I save my gift bags from over the years, so I recycle a lot of that stuff.
I do that too.
Wrapping. Think about it. You spend all of this money. What is an actual roll of wrapping paper cost?
Depends on how many feet you have, but it could be anywhere from $2.50 to $5.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And the whole premise of this is something that is going to be just ripped to shreds and then thrown in the trash.
Right. It's about presentation, though. You want it to look nice, right?
But it's going to end up the same place, Casey, which is ripped to shreds and in the trash. See, we don't do gifts in my family because it's like if we want something, we just get it throughout the course of the year.
Sure.
The reason for the season is Jesus, and the birthday, all the credit goes to the mother because she did all the work. That's how we view stuff in my family. But thank you, Kevin. What a racket the wrapping paper industry is, and I'm glad we got to talk about this today. $47 for wrapping paper, Casey.
Yes, but it has Donald Trump's picture on it.
It's going to end up in the trash.
I think there's a lot of people who would think that that's pretty funny. I mean, you want to talk about stirring up things during Thanksgiving, bringing politics into the dinner.
You could frame that and probably hang it up on the wall or something.
There's nothing that says celebrating Jesus' birthday quite like a mugshot of
Kev,
Donald Trump.
Very good.
Right?
Okay, so I am right though. The wrapping paper thing is a sex thing. Women are way more into wrapping paper than men, right? I mean, that's a.
If you say so.
I mean, is Jim a present wrapper?
He'll wrap.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's not skilled at it, but he'll wrap.
You have a grown child, so do you still do presents, or are you just like, here, I got you this thing?
No, I'll still wrap a present for her.
Wow.
Yes.
What about
it's my child?
Really?
Yes.
Still, you go to all that, just like, here, what?
Yes.
Wow.
Why do you find that hard to believe?
Because it's just
that I would get my daughter a gift.
Well, no, it's not that you got her. It's not that you got her a gift. It's that you just go to all that effort because it's such a racket. It's just such a racket.
Sorry, that's the way it is.
I get it. You live in a high rise, so what's $5 here or $10 there on wrapping paper? It's not that big of a deal.
I think the majority of people would say yes, that they would wrap their Christmas gifts.
You think so? Okay, well, let's put it out there. Are you team Rob and Kev, which is the gift is what matters? Do it in the most economical
way.
The
gift is what matters.
Right? Are you? Let's do.
People are still. It's what you do in the society now, Rob, is you wrap gifts.
Are you how very 1950s of you, Casey? Are you team Rob and Kev, which is just put it in whatever bag you have available and hope the person realizes it's the effort of the gift, or are you team Casey, which is 93 hours and $93 to present something that'll end up in the trash 2 minutes later?
Hey, you know what? I'm a big fan of cash in an envelope. That's the best gift of all.
Yes. Stockings. Do people use stockings anymore?
Yeah. Yes, people use stockings.
But that's for candy
those things
like
don't get wrapped. Things that go in the stocking don't get wrapped.
Right. That's an easy way to, if you're too lazy to wrap anything, you can just throw it in the stocking.
Get a stocking. Good idea,
if it's small
Kev.
enough.
Glad you're with us this morning.
I've got a lot of good ideas.
It is 18 minutes after 10. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
The National Toy Hall of Fame has announced its new class. Baseball cards, Cabbage Patch Kids, Fisher-Price corn popper, that little thing you push, and Nerf.
Yeah. Nerf?
Nerf made it in
I think I'm good with the list. Literally, I think a stick is in the National Toy Hall of Fame.
It is.
Who didn't make it?
Slime. It's a staple of Nickelodeon.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple of weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Between global jihad, China, Russia, and our southern border, we are in for a long and protracted battle. You need to prepare for the worst. Protect your home, protect your family, and protect your investments. It's time to reach out to the Oxford Gold Group. They make it simple for whether you are buying more gold, diversifying your 401k, or buying gold for the first time. Call 833-995-GOLD or visit jessekellygold.com. That's jessekellygold.com.
Hi, this is Denny Smith. When it comes to your well, preventive maintenance is the key to safe and reliable water. C&J is offering their well cleaning special, and it's a deal that really helps improve the quality of the water you consume every day. To prevent problems, you simply must do a bacteria sampling, amps test on the pump, switch analysis, pressure tank check, piping exam, and a flow evaluation. Clean your well to protect the water you drink, bathe in, and wash your clothes. Call C&J to keep your water source safe, sanitary, and reliable. 317-852-WELL.
Extended Black Friday. Up to 52% off all products, plus 10% in manufacturer rebates. For a limited time only, go to bwindow.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
That guy's brain is a bag full of cats. You can smell crazy on him.
And Casey Daniels.
If she were a president, she'd be Abraham Lincoln.
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is 22 minutes after 10. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Rob, would you consider yourself a workaholic?
I do enjoy work, but that's because I figured out a way to get paid to do my hobbies.
Yeah, you like what you do.
I mean, think about what I get money for. I get money on one job to come here and talk for 3 hours a day. And then my other job, I get money to go hang out at the golf course and play with alcohol.
Okay.
I mean, I worked very hard at figuring out how to not have to work, how to get money for doing nothing.
Okay, so maybe you're really not a workaholic then, because there's a new study out and it says that workaholics are actually addicts who don't really enjoy their jobs.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Even if it's their dream job. They say that these people are hostile. They have a lot of anxiety and guilt when they don't work.
Okay, so
and you've mentioned that you have guilt when you don't work.
I'm I've changed a lot over the years, Casey. Believe it or not, I used to be a little high strung. What were the three things again? What were these three things?
Hostile, anxious, and guilty.
Okay, so this is one of the reasons, because people all the time say, when are you going back to politics? What are you going to, and the answer is probably never, because I was all of those things when I was in government and in politics. And I loved politics and I loved the idea of better government, but it made me a hyper level of those things all at once. And I don't say this lightly when I say I made the choice because I knew I was going to drop dead of a heart attack or a stroke by the time I was 35. I still really like coming to work each day, but as I've aged and your life changes, I am now capable of not working. Like I'm capable of leaving here.
You can shut it off.
And shutting it off and then resuming our regularly scheduled programming. As Casey will vouch, I'm always on time. I'm always professional. We produced for our employer to the level they are very satisfied with, but I'm not. I mean, I used to be a radio nerd or like I used to live in the studios. Whatever I did. And as I've aged and you have a family and you have a kid, you have to, as a high functioning human being, you have to say, hey, these other things are actually more important than this thing. And you don't realize they're actually more important until you have the thing.
Yeah. So I've always been told, and I think this is true, that when it comes to work, you want to work for somebody who has something else going on in their life. And that's one of the great things about our boss, David Wood, because I know he has other things going on in his life. Yeah. So you don't want to work for a boss who's constantly just 100% about the job.
Yeah.
Because that's going to wear off on you.
We have both worked for these, Casey and I, we didn't work together, but we worked for, years ago, the same radio station owner. And that guy would be a guy who you would say had nothing else going on.
Nothing else. Right. And how was he to work with? Not so great, right? Because it was all consuming to him.
Right.
But if you work for somebody who has other things like, their family or their pets or pickleball or whatever else they're involved in, they can leave their job at the door.
It's also,
and do something else.
And I never experienced, so, my first 10 years of my professional life, I owned my own business. Businesses, plural. So you live in that 24/7 by force, not by choice, because if you want to eat, you got to keep producing. And then when I went to work for the state, was the first time I'd ever really worked for someone outside of a radio environment, which you don't really work. We did with that guy, but, and so that was a very eye-opening experience for me. But one of the things that, remember when Urban One bought us, it's been, a year and a half ago now-ish. And all the people, that's it for WIBC. Oh, they're going to go hard left. Oh, probably be a format flip.
Right.
All over for Rob and Casey and Tony. And look, we're still here.
It was last September.
We're still doing great.
Yeah.
And they, even more so maybe than the previous employer in terms of the show content, leave us alone. Like they look at the ratings and say, these are great. Thank you. Have a nice day. Good luck. If you need to work 12 hours to achieve this, great. If you can do it in 5 hours, great. Whatever it is, thanks. Have a nice life. Urban One is, in a weird way, from a just purely programming standpoint, been a perfect owner, been a perfect company to work for because they have recognized, wow, you guys have tons of sponsors. They're super loyal. And your politics are your politics, and just keep those checks coming in, baby. And so this has actually been the most refreshing job I've ever had because it's enabled me to be in an environment where as long as I succeed, I can choose when to turn it on and turn it off. And that's totally new for me, and I'm a much happier person. And this is why when you people are like, you should run for, no, I'm not going to.
And you're better to work with when you're happy. But that's the thing. If you're looking for a job, one of the things that you should ask during an interview is, what does the potential employer, boss, what do they have in their life outside of work? Great question. Because you want to work for somebody who's also got other stuff going on.
The great philosopher Del Griffith once said, of course, Del Griffith, shower ring salesman, American Light and fixture, as he once said, like your work, love your wife.
Yeah. Go home every day. 28 minutes after 10, and we've got your voicemails coming up with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Your love isn't confined to an Advent calendar. It doesn't stop when the Christmas lights come down. With the Salvation Army, your love lasts all year long. It puts a Christmas present under someone's tree today and a roof over someone's head tomorrow. It brightens Christmas morning and the hardest nights for hardworking families. Together, we love beyond Christmas. Give $25 a month to support local families all year long at sacentralindiana.org.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Is there still a ceasefire? 20 degrees and mostly cloudy downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. CIA Director Bill Burns is in Qatar to meet with his Israeli and Egyptian counterparts to discuss a further extension of the truce between Israel and Hamas. Yesterday, the temporary pause in fighting was extended an additional 2 days. However, there were explosions that injured IDF troops in Gaza this morning.
The Israelis say the ceasefire was violated by Hamas. They are reporting 3 separate explosions at 2 different locations in northern Gaza that injured a number of Israeli soldiers. They describe the injuries as light at this point.
Fox's Trey Yingst. Last night was the coldest night of the season so far, even some flurries overnight in some places.
Highs are going to be in the upper 20s for most of the area, but temperatures will actually start warming up during the overnight hours, so the coldest temperatures will be in the evening, and then by morning we'll be into the mid to upper 20s.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Are your health insurance premiums making you sick? George and Megan at yourcoverage.net can help. George and Megan have helped countless individuals and families save 30 to 60% on health insurance with superior coverage. George recently saved a family of 4 $800 a month with the Aetna Network $0 deductible and $0 doctor office copay plan. This is not a government-sponsored health insurance plan. So if you're uninsured, recently lost your job, on COBRA, or are paying extremely high rates for Obamacare or your work coverage, George and Megan will help you if you meet the flexible guidelines for health insurance. Yourcoverage.net will provide you the best coverage at the lowest rate. Their goal is to give you peace of mind and the utmost in healthcare. Go to yourcoverage.net and see for yourself, or better yet, call George and Megan at 1-800-491-5500. That's 1-800-491-5500. Or go to yourcoverage.net. That's yourcoverage.net, a premium personalized healthcare plan managed and designed by you, not the government.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family heating and air.
Maintenance is going to drastically increase the efficiency and performance of your system. It's also going to significantly improve the longevity of it. People think that they are saving money by skipping their maintenance, and in reality, they're just shaving years off the life and increasing the consumption of that unit, spending a lot more in the long term.
Get your tune-up today at Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
While high school sports help students develop their athletic skills, the real lessons in this second classroom are the skills needed for life. I'm Brian Lewis.
And I'm Carrie Rosati. We're both assistant commissioners of the IHSAA. In high school sports, student athletes aren't just running drills. They're learning discipline and work ethic.
They're not just watching film. They're learning the value of preparation and always finding ways to improve.
They're not just hitting the weight room. They're learning the importance of pushing through any challenges that come their way.
These aren't just some of the skills student athletes need to navigate the game. These are the skills they need to navigate life, to be successful people, to be good humans.
You can ensure these life lessons are taught for generations to come. Be a champion of high school sports and buy a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is preparing for the game. This is preparing for life. This is your IHSAA.
Pierce Jewelers is Carmel's full-service jewelry store where all watch repair, jewelry repair, appraisals, or custom design is done in-house. See them at piercejewelers.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present Voicemails. Brought to you by QC Kinetics for non-surgical regenerative medicine treatments at 317-559-PAIN.
All right, here we go with your voicemails, questions, comments, smart remarks. The phone number 317-684-8444. And we start off with a phone call. Somebody wanted to talk about polls. We've been talking a lot about polling lately, and somebody was wondering about a poll that we haven't seen yet.
Oh,
yeah.
How exciting.
And I think it's a good one. I like his idea.
All the polls that go out about Donald Trump are either against his Republican opponents or against Joe Biden. there's a lot of talk that the Democrats are going to play some shenanigans and replace Biden. And Biden possibly could be involved in this himself. So what I would like to see is what kind of polling does Trump do against, like, Gavin Newsom? What kind of polling does he do against Michelle Obama? Those are the two names that's being thrown about that would replace Biden. Just a random thought here. I just wonder, just what it is that seems like the Democrats want Trump for the nominee, and then they're going to play some games just to and get somebody else to run against him that can actually beat him.
Shenanigans? What? My shocked face.
Well, it's a great question, Casey, that this guy raises, which is that Trump does well against Biden. Well, everyone does well against Biden because it becomes an anti-Biden vote. It becomes, hey, we cannot have a delusional old fool running this country for another 4 years because he's probably not going to make it physically. And now I don't mean in the sense of like I think he's going to pass away. I'm just saying physically, whatever is left of him being able to do this job, probably not going to last 4 years. And in the time he's in there, he could do even more damage than he's already done. Once you remove that, because the polling shows, this is weird to me, but him being a delusional old fool hurts him a lot more than him being a corrupt old fool. And once you remove Biden from the equation,
where does Trump sit?
Well, I think Trump has a very, very hard time winning against somebody who's not Biden. And maybe I'll be proven incorrect. And maybe you'll be proven incorrect, that it's not actually some scheme and scam to get to the convention. I think it's a brilliant theory, though, and I've told several people. I give you full credit, by the way, every time I tell people that. I say, well, Casey thinks that way if it's wrong.
Right.
It's not pinned on me.
It's on me.
But how does? Because Trump has not offered, and this is where I come back to, Trump has not offered a vision for the next 4 years. So if you're voting for Trump, you're either voting essentially out of revenge for 2020, which many people are, or you're voting against Biden. Well, coalition build the revenge, and against Biden people, you've got a guy who can get over the hump, probably. Now, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., we'll see what happens with that. However, head-to-head, Trump can get over the hump, likely. However, once you remove part of the coalition from the equation, which is the anti-Biden people, now Trump, not only does he not get over that, it's not even, my guess would be it's not even close.
You think so?
I mean, it's just like why Trump won the first time. And this was the great misread from Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't win because of Donald Trump.
Now, he won because it was Hillary Clinton.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. I've always said Trump was the perfect guy to run against Hillary because she was the only person he could have beaten, and he was the only person who could have beaten her. Because to beat the Clintons, it took chemical ground warfare. The thing like where he put all of Bill Clinton's accusers in the front row at one of the debates. I mean, those are sort of things that needed to be done against the Clintons to remind society of who they were, who she was. And Trump was the only, Ted Cruz wasn't going to do that, or Marco Rubio wasn't going to do that. But Trump only won, and the polling bears it out. And obviously, look at what happened in 2020, because she was so unlikable. And rightfully so. She's horrific.
So the first ladies are all going to be at Rosalind Carter's funeral, I believe, which is today.
Yes.
So you've got Melania Trump is going to be there. Jill Biden is going to be there. Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Laura Bush. They're all going to be there to mourn their predecessor. And I bring this up because he mentioned Michelle Obama. Everybody knows who Michelle Obama is. Now the internet is arguing over who is the best first lady and why. What are the qualifications you want in your first lady?
Nothing, because they're not an elected person.
Right.
They're married, or it would be the same thing. So you're a sexist if it's a first man. If Nikki Haley were to become the president,
sure.
You are an unelected person. If you want to have a cause du jour, remember it used to be like Nancy Reagan, say no to drugs.
Right. Just say no.
Cool. That's a thing. I think we should all wrap our arms around that, and even regardless of whatever your view on marijuana is for adults, that young kids should not be experimenting with drug use or alcohol consumption. And everybody can wrap their arms around that and go, hey, that's phenomenal. We all agree with this. Or if it's, I think Laura Bush's was like, learn to read.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I think we all have a vested interest in young kids being able to read and write and know their ABCs. But it seems like with the Democrat first ladies, far more than the Republican first ladies, because don't forget, Rosalind Carter was incredibly involved in Jimmy Carter's administration.
She sat in on cabinet meetings.
And the disaster that was. And then you had Hillary, which was the original universal health care thing that flamed out. Mm-hmm. You had Michelle Obama, who was essentially trying to govern whatever your kid could eat in a vending machine. It just seems like the Democrat first ladies are far more involved and far more nasty in their involvement in many cases compared to the Republican women.
Yeah, I was going to say, by those standards, your favorite or best first lady of those attending the funeral of Rosalind Carter would be Laura Bush and Melania Trump.
Yeah, however, Laura Bush
ran
over a guy, though, so, how does that never come up?
But he mentioned, so that phone call, he mentioned Michelle Obama, so a lot of people know who Michelle Obama is. Do enough people know who Gavin Newsom is and what he stands for to get an accurate polling?
No, but they would if he were the guy, right? Because the mainstream national media would immediately
latch on to him,
go into full-on campaign mode on his behalf. And this is what the Republicans... And apparently Republican primary voters just simply don't care. And sometimes, Casey, your hate and your rage for whatever it might be is so strong that it blinds you from making sound choices. And I think everybody is guilty of this at some point in their life, whether it's relationships or it's business or it's career, whatever it might be, where you've decided, I am not going to fill in the blank. And even if just letting go and going on to something else ends up being the better thing for you and your loved ones, people just say, I'm not going to fill in the blank. And in this case, I'm not going to let the Democrats get away with stealing the 2020 election. Yeah, but there's tons of data that shows, first of all, Donald Trump wasn't all that great of a president to begin with and didn't do a whole bunch of stuff he promised to do and really, really set the country back in terms of what he did during COVID. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to let him get away with the stealing the 2020 election. Yeah, but there's these other people over here who you as a conservative or liberty person would give you much more of what you claim to want from your government. I'm not going to let them get away with stealing the 2020 election. And the reality is, if Biden is not the candidate, whether it's Michelle Obama or it's Greasy Gavin or whoever it is, the spin machine is going to be so strong that it would be very, very hard for someone who can't coalition build, which Donald Trump can't, much of it due to his own doing based on the way he treats the people he runs against. If you're a Ron DeSantis supporter, and there's many people who will say, look, we can't have Biden in there, so I got to vote for this guy. But you're alienating needlessly. Like Ron DeSantis did nothing wrong to you. He was incredibly respectful. He was polite. He was in many ways gave great deference to you. He did nothing. He's not Chris Christie. Nikki Haley, same thing. She worked under you. She said horrific things, but you chose to bring her in. If you're going to bring a vampire into your house, you can't be mad if the vampire bites you. And yet it's just this needless. You're winning by 50 points. 50 points, Casey.
He doesn't need to do it. So, the country may have an opportunity to learn more about Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis, for that matter, because they do have that debate coming up Thursday night.
Are you going to watch that?
I will watch it because you know how I feel about Ron DeSantis, and I want to hear how,
is it Fox News or is it Fox? If it's Fox News, see, I got a problem. I got a problem here.
Well, isn't it Hannity?
Well, yeah, but I didn't know if this thing is like big enough where they said, hey, we're going to put this on network television. It's got to be. We'll look it up during the break. If it's Fox News, I got a big problem because I don't have cable.
Oh, okay. So you can hear it right here on WIBC because we're going to be airing it.
Great.
And that's Thursday night.
I love that.
All right, let's do just one more phone call. Hey, Jack, let's skip the one called Joe and go to the one called Eagle, if we can. They had the Eagle fly.
The Eagles.
The Eagle.
The Eagles.
During the national anthem at the Colts game,
yes.
And somebody called with a comment about that.
Casey, the Colts military appreciation, they've had the Eagle named Challenger a few times before. The last time I remember was in, I believe, 20. Thank you.
Okay, so that's not the first time that they have had an eagle
Yeah.
at the Colts game. This one was called Indy, and he tours a lot of the NFL games.
Oh.
He's part of Auburn's Raptor Center.
Can you like, so with the dog, I can say, Bruce, no, Bruce, come, Bruce, sit, and he will do those basic things. Can you do that with an eagle? Can you say, Indy, come?
Well, they train him more with signals and food. But this one has flown at 3 Philadelphia Eagles games.
The Eagles!
The Eagles.
Flying at the Eagles.
Do you know the phrase fed up? Like if you say
aren't you that
you're fed up with something?
You're that with me on a daily basis.
That comes from falconry and training.
From what?
Falconry,
What
which
the
is
hell is that?
Well, that's what like having that eagle fly in the stadium.
Oh, there's a name for that.
Yeah, it's a sport. You can train these.
It's a sport?
Yeah.
What is there, some sort of like competition?
No, not sporting like competing, but training the birds and hawks and eagles, things like that. It's called falconry.
Oh.
And
how do you know all this?
Because I've done it.
Oh, you've been a falcon.
Yeah, I've had it land on my arm.
Yeah.
And the phrase "fed up" comes from that because that's how they train the birds. And when the bird is up in the tree, it's had enough food.
Oh.
It's fed up. It doesn't want to come back down and land on your hand.
Boy, you are just a plethora of knowledge. Just your mental capacity. I don't know how you just keep jamming files into that, just melon on top of your shoulders.
I know.
But
it's impressive.
That's amazing.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
unbelievable.
impressive. Yeah. We've got Hammer who's going to join us next on 93 WIBC. Hey, Rob.
Yes.
Did you hear Bill Demery, our retirement guy, is helping Indy residents add an instant 13% bonus on top of their retirement savings?
Wait. So like every $100 gets you an extra $13 more?
Yep, and it adds up. You can get $13,000 for every $100,000.
13%, that's a heck of a bonus even to a rich person like you, Casey.
Yes, it is. And then you get an extremely competitive return year after year. Over the last 10 years, it's been 7% and backed by one of the world's largest insurance companies.
I guess that's why Indy calls Bill Demery your retirement guy. So if listeners want their 13% bonus, Casey, what should they do?
Well, they should call Bill Demery at 317-932-9912. But it may not last long, okay? So call today, 317-932-9912. That's 317-932-9912.
Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
Hammer and Nigel Show, 3 o'clock this afternoon. We've got the in-season tournament of Biden Madness going on. Vote right now on the matchup at Hammer and Nigel on Twitter. Biden Madness in-season tournament, another matchup this afternoon.
A house isn't a home without a little wear and tear, spilled milk, or muddy paws. But don't just clean it, quick shine it. Hey, Pat Sullivan here for Quick Shine Finishes and Cleaners with some Floor Care 101 tips. First, no matter the surface type, be sure to remove dust and debris. Avoid heavy chemicals or all-purpose liquids as they can damage the sealant layer or leave an oily residue. Now, to best clean and protect your floors at a modest price, don't just clean it, quick shine it. Quick Shine Finishes and Cleaners use non-toxic ingredients, making it better for kids, pets, and the environment. With an EPA Safe Choice certification, and Quick Shine has a full line of products to treat any surface, including their floor cleaner, floor finisher, and hardwood floor luster. I use it on my own floors. Made right here in Central Indiana for over 60 years by Holloway House, a family-owned company. Quick Shine Finishes and Cleaners is available at retailers everywhere.
When it comes to illegal immigration, there's only one true conservative running for U.S. Senate this year. That's Trump-endorsed Jim Banks. Jim Banks has a plan, and it's simple. If you're caught in this country illegally, you're sent back to where you came from. Got that? No? Okay, well, let me repeat it. When Jim Banks is the senator, his policy on illegal immigration will be as follows. If you're in the country illegally, you're going back to where you came from. Mi casa is no longer tu casa, my friends. Jim Banks, Navy veteran, Trump endorsed. A simple plan for dealing with illegal immigration. Jim Banks for U.S. Senate. American Leadership PAC is responsible for the content of this message. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.americanleadershippac.org.
You only have one heart, so let's keep it near everyone it beats for. Franciscan Health is leading the way as the only hospital in Indiana to be recognized as one of HealthGrade's 100 best hospitals for cardiac care and coronary intervention in 2024. We're delivering award-winning heart care in your neighborhood, near everyone you love, because our greatest reward is caring for you. Learn more about our compassionate, patient-focused approach to heart care. Visit us at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
If you're over 50, Absolute Wealth Management LLC is offering a special deal to kickstart your financial journey in 2024. You can have your 2023 tax return prepared and filed, including Schedules A, B, and D for just $79.95. Call us now at 317-288-0634. That's 317-288-0634, or visit AbsoluteWealthManagementLLC.com. Investment advisory services offered through Gradient Advisors LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Gradient Advisors LLC and its advisors do not render tax, legal, or accounting advice.
Turn to the experts at Howald Heating and Carrier for all your heating needs. Howald Heating, Air, and Plumbing, where coming home never felt so good. Online at howaldheatingandair.com.
There's a lot of sexy content on the internet. And there's WIBC, full of faces meant for radio. Hammer and Nigel, Kendall and Casey. Okay, Casey could be on TV. Now streaming every day on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/WIBC.
All right, Casey.
Yeah.
It's going to be a moment. You ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It could be one of these moments.
Okay.
All right, this is the Kendall and Casey show. Hammer will be with us at 11:30. He took a sledgehammer to his car earlier, it sounds like, so he's a little late getting here. So big news came down today where the governor, the esteemed high-tax Eric Holcomb, Lockdown McGee, whatever we want to call him today, has appointed a new, it's called the comptroller now.
Yeah, it used to be the state auditor.
By the state constitution, we elect a state auditor, but it is now called the comptroller. Of course, Tara Klutz totally quit on the state just months after being reelected.
Yeah, her last day is Thursday.
Which is the Indiana Republican Party way now, where we con the voters because we don't want the people to be able to pick. So we have people run again for re-election because they have the power of incumbency, so they don't get challenged, or if they do, it's a nominal challenge, and then they win, and then they quit, and then party insiders get to pick the replacement.
Sure.
And so this happened with Connie Lawson as Secretary of State. It's now happened with Tara Klutz. It's happened with all sorts of state senators and state House reps. This is the new way Republicans do business because they hate you and don't actually trust you, and they don't like the people you sometimes pick. So Tara Klutz ran for re-election, didn't tell anybody any inkling I'm not going to finish my term, served a couple months after being reelected, and then gave a middle finger to the state and walked away, which let high-tax Holcomb pick the replacement. And he picked, Elise Nishala. Now, let's talk about who Elise Nishala is for a moment, because I actually know Elise, and Elise ran for state treasurer last year at the convention and was defeated by Daniel Elliott. And so just like Cindy Carrasco, who ran for prosecutor last year and was defeated, just keep running for stuff or keep throwing your name out there or keep kissing the right butt. And even though you've been rejected by the voters, if the Republicans like you, they will find a spot for you. So despite the fact that Elise Nishala was defeated by the voters at convention, she was told, like others, her services were not required. She was now picked by the governor because, well, she was in TV ads for the governor during COVID. She's one of those fake conservatives who sold everybody out and expressed to be conservative, but when it came time to choose between liberty and freedom or kissing the ring finger and being liked inside the establishment, she kissed the ring finger and chose to be liked by the establishment. And it is now paid off for her because despite being rejected by the voters, she now gets to be the state auditor, well, comptroller, without anybody actually voting for her to be comptroller, because that, my friends, is the Indiana Republican Party way.
Congratulations to her. When does she start her new position?
I'm guessing it is very soon here. The big announcement was today, and so she will, control a lot to do with state finances. It's actually a really powerful position. You know, I worked for 3 state auditors in a very short period of time, Casey, so I got a little bit familiar with that office and how it works and kind of the powers that they have. This happens all the time, Casey, and it is not accidental. There's no way you're going to convince me that Tara Klutz runs for re-election and then a couple months into her term term. He's like, well, I just had enough of this. I'm out. See you later.
You think this was all...
just like with Connie Lawson. Everybody knew it was going to happen. And who did he pick? He picked what's-her-face that got her ass handed to her by Diego at the convention.
Destiny.
No. That was in the general. The Holly Sullivan. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
This is gross. This whole thing is gross that we it seems deliberately deceive people, and then we let, in this case, one guy pick the choice, and he picked a loser.
You're listening to Kendall and
Hi,
Casey on 93 WIBC. Hailey what?
Just said hi.
Oh, okay.
She knows who I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been to her house. I bet not anymore. But that invites been.
You've heard about the thousands of patients finally getting relief from chronic joint pain thanks to QC Kinetics non-invasive treatments. Meet Vicky, a patient from right here in Nineveh.
The orthopedic surgeon said, well, you're going to need knee replacement sooner rather than later. I kept hearing commercials about QC Kinetics and thought, well, I'm going to check them out first.
QC Kinetics has treated over 20,000 patients like Vicky around the country. People who were told they needed surgery but chose a more natural, less invasive approach that uses regenerative treatments to help heal and restore painful joints with no downtime.
If QC Kinetics had not been what I expected, I would have gone through with the surgery, but I got so much relief, am now pretty much pain-free that I don't have to have the surgery.
Before going under the knife, you need to check out QC Kinetics. The consultation is free. Call today.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. In Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. 317-559-PAIN.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
You've heard the buzz about IT jobs in cybersecurity and AI, right? Why not prepare for a career in these fields and take advantage of the high demand? You could enjoy a more rewarding and recession-resistant lifestyle. Train in just a few short months at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Already in IT? Skill up for positions employers need to fill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
When someone you love is the victim of a wrongful death, it's a terrible tragedy. What's also a tragedy? When the insurance company doesn't want to pay what you deserve for your loss and suffering. I'm attorney Darryl Isaacs, the Hammer, founder of Isaacs & Isaacs Personal Injury Lawyers. We've recovered over $1 billion for our clients, including a recent $10 million wrongful death jury award. There are strict time limits to file a wrongful death claim, so please go to WeWin.com for your free case evaluation.
Immerse yourself in premium nationwide coverage, contract-free plans, and always free activation with Consumer Cellular, now at your local Target. While you're there, check out our newest phone, the Iris Flip. It's all the phone and camera you need, plus it features a user-friendly design, making it the perfect flip phone. From now to December 16th, you can score $10 off when you buy the Consumer Cellular Iris Flip at Target, making it only $39.99. Visit your nearest Target for the full scoop.
Extended Black Friday. Up to 52% off all products, plus 10% in manufacturer rebates. For a limited time only, go to bwindow.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, who police say shot a security guard at a bar late last night. Plus, a Hoosier doctor does his part to help out in Israel. And what's next for Alex Palou in his legal fight with McLaren? I'm Kurt Darling. That and more coming up from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
Fighting flares up in Gaza. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, violating the ceasefire that had been extended 2 more days.
The Israelis say there were 3 large explosions in northern Gaza, likely caused by IEDs, injuring a number of Israeli troops. They are listed in light condition, but it gives you a sense of how delicate this agreement is. The Israelis also say there was an exchange of fire, but Hamas pointing the finger at Israel today. So it's unclear how this will affect the ongoing conversations and the extension of the ceasefire that we're in right now.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv at a hospital where hostages released yesterday being cared for. There are supposed to be 20 more hostages set free today and tomorrow in exchange for more Palestinian prisoners. Speaking of being set free, they've finally rescued 41 construction workers in India trapped since a tunnel collapsed.
Broad grins, back slaps, joyful commotion. After 17 days underground, there really was light at the end of the tunnel. For 2.5 weeks, rescuers drilled through rock, concrete and earth, all the while sending food, water and medicine down a narrow pipe. They finally created a 3-foot-wide tunnel and pulled the men out on stretchers.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. The day after a student was stabbed to death at a Raleigh, North Carolina high school in a fight in the gym, a 14-year-old's being charged with murder on a juvenile petition.
Schools should be a safe haven for our students and staff. What happened here today is unacceptable.
Superintendent Robert Taylor says they'll review all safety protocols. Hunter Biden's lawyers offering to have the president's son testify at a public hearing December 13th, but House Republicans investigating his overseas business dealings and if his father, the president, was involved, say he's playing games, that Hunter Biden was already subpoenaed to testify at a private deposition that day. President Biden denies any involvement. He's headed to Georgia for a memorial service for former First Lady Rosalind Carter. 99-year-old ex-President Jimmy Carter going to be there, too, after leaving his hospice care at home where he was by Rosalind's side when she died. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It was irregular. It's mostly cloudy and 21 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. A shooting at a pub in Broad Ripple. John Herrick reports on what police know so far.
Around 1:30 Tuesday morning at Connor's Pub. That's when IMPD says a man who is a frequent customer came into the pub and started to cause problems.
And management asked him to leave. And then by the security guard and bouncer started having a verbal confrontation because the subject did not want to leave.
IMPD Captain Don Weilhammer says the man ended up shooting a security guard and then ran away. The police are still trying to find that man. The security guard is in a hospital and is expected to recover. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A man hit by a car along Southeastern Avenue near 5 Points in Wanamaker this morning. That man was killed in the collision and the driver took off. He felt compelled to help.
I went to the side of the massacres. I mean, you could feel the evil. You could just feel the pain.
That's Dr. Louis Profeta. He's a doctor at Ascension St. Vincent. He's also Jewish, and he tells Wish TV that he just got back from a volunteer trip to Israel. Profeta helped treat the wounded in Israel's war against Hamas, and he also trained younger doctors in how to deal with emergency situations. 2 women hauling meth made it easy for state troopers to suspect something was up.
It's mind-blowing to me how many individuals that are transporting illegal drugs in their vehicles that continue to drive at high speeds and do other reckless things on our highways.
Sergeant Todd Ringel says that the women were speeding and were pulled over along I-64 in Posey County. Troopers searched the car and found 10 pounds of meth inside. IndyCar driver Alex Palou has admitted that he breached a contract he signed with McLaren Racing earlier this year. Palou reneged on the contract back in July in order to sign an extension with Chip Ganassi Racing. Palou has admitted to breaching the contract, but his lawyers say that Palou is not liable for some $23 million in damages that McLaren says they're owed. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey, it's Rob. I started losing hair around my crown, and my hairline was starting to recede. I went to We Grow Hair Indy, and they helped grow my hair back. My friend Dave First, a sports broadcaster for over 20 years, also struggled with hair loss. Dave, what happened?
My thinning hair was bothering me. For me, I'm in the public eye. I'm a dad also, and I want to look and feel my best. And if I'm going to do something about my hair, I want to go with the best. We Grow Hair Indy. They really set the standard.
Dave, that's amazing. I had the same procedure, multi-unit hair grafting transplants, which gives you more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation. Find out if hair transplants
or PRP is right for you.
If you're thinking about this, don't waste your time or money. Go to the experts.
Call 317-522-2995, 522-2995, or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard for hair restoration.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, November 28th, 5 minutes after 11. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So beyond foreign aid, the House of Representatives has only 19 days between now and that January 19th deadline?
This is it, though, Casey.
To fund part of the government?
This is going to be it. This is no more. Remember, they ran on this. No more of these continuing resolutions. We're gonna fund the government the right way, or we're not gonna fund it at all. And gosh darn it, Casey. They must have forgotten about that. Like maybe they were suffering from amnesia. Maybe they all 200 plus of them, sustained serious head injuries of some sort. Because it seems like they keep doing these continuing resolutions, which they promise not to do anymore.
Yep, they've only got 12 days left this year.
Remember the whole excuse on the debt ceiling vote, because that was the opening lie in salvo, was, well, this will force us to actually fund the government now. If we would raising this debt ceiling, if we don't fund it, it's automatic cuts across the board. This will force us to fund the government the right way. And we said, yeah, right. You people can be trusted as far as you can be thrown, which for many of us, we'd like to throw them into an ocean and say good luck. But nothing ever changes because they aren't invested. Republicans and Democrats alike are invested in the status quo. The difference is, so I had this conversation with a guy over the weekend at the golf course, and he knows what I do. Super nice guy. I've known him and his family for a long time. He said, why are you so mean to the Republicans?
Why are you the way you are?
I get this question all the time, and so we have new people that come in and out, and I feel like I've answered it a whole bunch. He said, well, the Democrats are a big part of this problem too, so why do you focus so much on the Republicans? And the answer is, and I've never wavered on this, because the Republicans lie to me. The Democrats don't pretend to care about spending. They don't. They're a huge part of the problem. But we know what they are. We know how they operate. We know what they intend to do because they tell us, and they're not shy about it. The Republicans are worse because the Republicans do it too, and they lie to you about it in order to get your vote. If I'm going to get screwed, at least just look me in the eye and say, this is the way of the world, my friend, and buckle up.
Don't gaslight you into it.
The Republicans lie, and they lie, and they lie, and they lie. They're habitual, pathological liars. I mean, they're all over this Santos guy right now about, his life is a gigantic lie. But these people are much the same. I mean, the behavior of the our American system of governance. I mean, it's grotesque. And yet, no matter what we do, no matter who we elect, it just never seems to change.
How about that Santos, by the way? What did he call himself? The Mary Magdalene of Congress? I don't even know what that means.
Well, we all know who she was in the Bible and the life she lived. And I don't know that either. I don't think maybe he knows. I think people like George Santos probably struggle to know who they are as human beings anymore. It's like OJ told himself so many times that he didn't do it. So he probably, if you hooked OJ up to a lie detector, and I've been confident of this for years,
he'd pass it.
I think a guy like Santos, it's like Hulk Hogan. It's just the first name that came into my mind. Hulk Hogan's real name is not Hulk Hogan. His real name is Terry Bollea. Terry Bollea largely stopped existing 30 plus years ago. Like he lives the Hulk Hogan lifestyle. It's a 70-year-old man who wears sunglasses and bandanas and tank tops and Bermuda shorts and fanny packs wherever he goes. Yeah. And he calls people Jack and brother and dude. Like, I think the same thing is true for a George Santos. I'm not sure a George Santos can actually distinguish where the lie begins and the truth ends. But these people in Congress, they're almost all as bad because they lie to us. They lie to us all the time.
Okay, so the big debate now starts over U.S. aid to Israel and Ukraine. Congress returning from their Thanksgiving recess. Isn't that something? They have to debate about aid over not one, but two different conflicts that we're supporting.
And these are totally proxy wars at this point. I mean, they have been, the Ukraine thing has been a proxy war from the beginning. They haven't even really hid that. But you are talking about gross people, in this case, our elected officials, who have bankrupted this nation. They have killed our buying power. They have diluted our currency. And yet here they are. The fight is about helping other people rather than actually helping Americans, Casey. We never talk about helping Americans. It's always about someone else. We're debating tens of billions of dollars at a time where we have no money. We have absolutely no money. We run trillions of dollars in deficits every single year, and you are crushing Americans. We did that stat earlier about 20% of every dollar now is inflation.
$20.
$20 of every 100.
It's $19 and some change.
Yeah, is just going out the window. It's thanks to your government. It's thanks to the magical money printing factory. It's thanks to your government failing you on shutting society down. It's thanks to your government failing you on supply chain issues. And yet the debate is not about helping Americans or getting this country back on track. It is about helping people half a world away.
Okay, well, let's talk about those half a world away issues. Mike Johnson, didn't he say, no more money, I'm not spending?
Yeah, boy, he sure did.
Didn't he?
Uh-huh.
Am I wrong?
I recall that.
Am I forgetting?
Nope.
Okay. Glad we're clear on that, because here he is talking about Ukraine.
Ukraine is another priority. Of course, we can't allow Vladimir Putin to march through Europe, and we understand the necessity of assisting there. What we've said is that if there is to be additional assistance to Ukraine, which most members of Congress believe is important, we have to also work in changing our own border policy. And so there's been a lot of thoughtful negotiation ongoing with that. I think most of our Senate colleagues recognize that those two things need to move together because we owe that to the American people. That's what they're demanding that we do.
Okay, so they're saying no aid for Ukraine unless there's some border policy changes or more money down to the southern border.
Want to bet when the push comes to shove that we get the same thing that we've always had, which is the Republicans will line up with the Democrats. They'll pass another stupid continuing resolution, and this will just continue in perpetuity because they are not going to. Remember what I told you? I said it doesn't. The only thing I care about the next Speaker of the House is will he or she shut the government down? If the answer is no, then I am against them.
Next.
Because it is going to take a prolonged, government doesn't actually shut down, but what would be described as a prolonged government shutdown and try to make some people feel some feelings of pain inside the government in order to get solutions driven. And keep in mind, Casey, let's just say tomorrow they came out and they found the strength of 10 fiscal conservatives plus 2, and there was somehow, by the grace of God, the political will to balance our budget in this country. But let's just say it happened. You're still, if they fixed it tomorrow, if they stopped the bleeding tomorrow, you would still be almost, $33 trillion in debt.
Yes.
If you fixed it tomorrow. I remember this was many, many years ago, back when Rokita and I were friends. Rokita was a congressman, and there was a government shutdown, and they were talking about the stalemate with Obama. And so this was probably whatever this was. The last big one, there was one in 2019, but it was before that. So 2013, 2014, doesn't matter. And he said the plan the Republicans had put forward to fund the government that Obama had rejected and the Democrats had rejected would not balance the federal budget for 26 years.
Wow.
This is what we're fighting over here, and they're not even fighting for that anymore. At least 10 years ago, and I remember sitting in the back of him, hear him say that, go, what a joke. You guys are pathetic. You're not going to balance the budget for 26 years. Well, heck now, Casey. People give a right arm to have the budget balanced in 26. I mean, it's gross. It's such an abuse of you as a taxpayer. It's such an abuse of you as an American. And more importantly, even if you don't care about yourself, it's an abuse of your kids and your grandkids.
Yeah, the future. Okay, so you're not far off because Karine Jean-Pierre, she is implying that Biden's not going to support passing any border security measures with any potential funding for Ukraine.
Is the White House open to attaching any border policy changes to a supplemental to get it passed?
So I'm not going to negotiate from here. We've made very clear that our supplemental request as it relates to national security, how important it is and why we think it's important. And we've laid that out, had conversations with members of Congress. Obviously, there was a H.R. 2 that was introduced by the House, and we said we did not agree with that. And Senate Republicans put forth a similar, I think exactly the same proposal. We did not agree with that as it relates to negotiations that are currently happening in Senate with senators, right? Both Republicans and Democrats. We're just not going to negotiate from
But
here.
is it a non-starter with the White House not even entertained?
She's not going to negotiate. Who's she? She's the White House spokesperson. She shouldn't be doing any negotiating on any level.
Think about how stupid this is, though, Casey. So let's bring it down to a local level to try to explain how ridiculous the behavior of, well, everyone, but specifically Joe Biden in the White House is. So she's saying we will not secure the southern border or negotiate securing the southern border as it relates to giving money to other countries.
Yep.
So this is the equivalent of your town or city that you live in saying we will not negotiate on funding the police department as it relates to us taking our own money and giving it to another city. So if you lived in Carmel, it would be the equivalent of Sue Finkham, who's the new mayor out there, saying, I will not negotiate with the city council on funding the police department as it relates to taking our hard-earned money and giving it to fishers. That's insanity. And that's exactly what they're saying, is we are not going to engage in doing the core job. Commander-in-chief is the biggest job of the president. All the other stuff falls a distant second. The number one job of the president, and it has been since the days of George Washington, is to secure the country. And they will not do that, and they will not engage in that conversation unless you give money to other countries. And in the case of one of the countries, they don't even really like us.
Yeah, you got it.
That's it. That's insane.
It is. And it's 17 minutes after 11 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Hey, Rob, coming up next, I want to introduce you to somebody.
Oh, how exciting.
Her name is Anna Indiana.
Oh, sounds like an adult film actress.
Well, you'll have to be the judge.
Give me a thumbs up.
Kevin grabbed the microphone. He likes this topic all of a sudden. I don't think she's an actress, but possibly a singer.
Oh, how exciting.
You be the judge next from 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz.
I alphabetized my soundboard. Well, I'm sorry, you didn't hear that. F.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, sir.
I have to go to S for Sopranos. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think you got it.
It's so clean now. It's fantastic. Yeah, we have clearly run out of things to talk about. There's nothing else going on in the world.
It's a great world, everything's so.
This show is stupid.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's info 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Brace yourself for the ultimate holiday deal with Consumer Cellular. Snag an incredible 50% off the Iris Flip when you buy before December 17th, making it only $34.50. The Iris Flip is all the phone and camera you need with a user-friendly design, the perfect flip phone companion. Plus, you'll get nationwide coverage and always free activation. Score 50% off when you use promo code RADIO50. Head over to consumercellular.com and use promo code RADIO50 during checkout to score this deal.
Extended Black Friday. Up to 52% off all products, plus 10% in manufacturer rebates. For a limited time only, go to bwindow.com.
It's the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
You need to figure out what kind of a show you're going to be.
Good morning, 21 minutes after 11. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So earlier in the show, we were talking about how Merriam-Webster Dictionary decided that the word authentic was the word for 2023, and that's because of all of the AI that is happening. Rob, I would like to introduce you to somebody.
Oh, how exciting.
Her name is Anna Indiana.
Well, sure it is.
She debuted on Friday.
Oh, debuted, huh?
Yes, debuted. This is completely fake.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
This is AI.
Okay. So
I'm curious.
This is an AI musician, is what you're telling me.
This is came with a video.
Uh-huh.
She's got a face. She's talking.
Oh, you can see this
You
broad.
can see her do all of this.
How exciting.
Yep, and I'm curious if the great state of Indiana should claim her since her name is Anna Indiana.
Well, let's have a listen.
Here we go.
Hello, world. My name is Anna Indiana, and I'm so excited to share my music with you. Here's my first song, Betrayed by This Town. As an AI singer-songwriter, everything from the key, tempo, chord progression, melody notes, rhythm, lyrics, and my image and singing is auto-generated using AI. I hope you like it. Sitting at my favorite cafe, sipping my tea, it's Saturday, thinking about all he's done to everyone. This town is full of broken dreams, shattered hopes and silent screams. Somebody please help me.
All right, there you go. There's Anna Indiana.
You can tell that's fake, right? You can listen to that. And
I could definitely see it in the video.
Oh, yeah. Well, she looks super fake. She's not.
She looks animated.
Yeah, but the audio is still a little off. Like that doesn't. It sounds like a tuned. Kev, what's the word I'm looking for here? Auto-tune. Is that it, right? What you got? The voice sounds very auto-tune.
Yeah, auto-tune.
But it's getting closer where you 2 years from now or a year from now, you may not be able to. They'll get it to where you can't tell the difference.
It sounds like it would be something out of a Disney movie to me.
It does.
And I'm wondering, will AI music, like you said, in a year or two, will it be embraced by radio and consumers?
Well, and we talked about this from our perspective. One of the things we have going for us is you still can't recreate this, right? Like you cannot recreate the passion that I have in terms of hatred for the Indiana Republican Party, right? Like AI cannot do this. AI cannot yet in talk radio come up with the thoughts that are in my head and use the life experiences that I have had and tell people like, okay, governor appoints Elise Nishala. Who's to be the state comptroller? Who's going to do the segment that I just did on it? Nobody, because it's based off real life experiences, really knowing these people and a passion to tell people how they're getting screwed. AI doesn't have that yet, and it's not going to have it for a while. However, in the other side of our industry, which is disc jockeys,
music side,
adios, see ya. I mean, within 5 years, somebody can tell you that was the Eagles
Eagles, or that was the Who. And
it's already happening.
Hey, coming up at 5 o'clock, we've got your chance to win tickets to see, Motley Crue.
Alpha Media has already done that. They already have that implemented in some of their radio stations across the country.
Because technology is created by man, so we are creating these things that do these things. We are creating a future of very lonely existences. And what I mean by that is we are allowing people to opt out of human interaction. And I'm not just saying, hey, you need to go to a ball game or you need to go to the bar. I'm talking about the need to have any sort of human interaction, even in a virtual world. I mean, we're talking about how these artificial intelligence things are girlfriends to people now. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Because a human created by God is not designed to interact with machines. It's designed to interact with other people. The emotions of humans, the heart of humans, the thinking and the feeling of humans. Every life is an incredibly blessed, unique, special experience, and we are gutting the fabric of what that is.
Yeah. We talked about the Sports Illustrated writer earlier in the show who was completely AI.
Yeah.
And when Sports Illustrated was asked about it, they deleted all of the articles. I'm wondering, Kevin, from a musician's standpoint, that song we just played from Anna, Indiana, it's a standard 3-chord progression. It was nothing, earth-shattering or breaking any sort of new barrier or ground. But from your take on this as a musician, do you think that this is going to, take away from what you do eventually? Or do you think, no, people are always going to go back to original art?
I think further down the line, people will start
embracing it.
Yeah, embracing the AI music.
You do?
But I don't think it's going to happen in the near future.
It's not going to have that soul.
But I think when you mentioned the Disney movies, I could see the movie producers
starting to use that
for their soundtracks.
Because it would be a heck of a lot cheaper, wouldn't it? They wouldn't have to buy the rights or pay musicians. They can just have AI do it.
This is incredibly depressing. Can we talk about something uplifting before we go to break?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to read this because it's very special to me, and it comes from a listener. Her name is Debbie, and it's interesting that this was just sent to me because we're doing this topic where we're talking about the human spirit and the gutting of human interaction and what human interaction means to people. And one of the great things about this show is the amount of people that we are able to touch in a positive way. Some of them, many of them, we will never, ever get a chance to meet. So I wanted to read you this letter that she sent.
Yeah.
And I don't know this person in person. I have a social media acquaintance of hers. And her son, it is his birthday, and she had posted a photo of him, and I liked the photo on his birthday. And she wrote, I just wanted to say thank you for liking my son's birthday post. We either listen or watch you on YouTube every day. He chooses you and Casey. He is a nonverbal quadriplegic who is very intelligent. We've always made sure that our kids knew what was happening in the world. They were all raised on conservative politics. He absolutely loves your intensity. And he was thrilled that you noticed him. Thank you for making his day.
Oh, that's nice.
So, Michael, happy birthday to you. We hope you have a phenomenal birthday. And thank you for listening to us. But artificial intelligence will never recreate that. Artificial intelligence will never understand what it means or how to connect with someone like Michael and the very important place he plays in the world and in his family's life. And even though he's facing immense challenges and obstacles, what a fighter that he is. And artificial intelligence will never be grateful for somebody who, despite having seemingly horrific circumstances to other people, chooses to face it with a happy face and engage with us, and we are able to make a difference in his life on a daily basis. And so that's why it really scares me as people move more and more towards this stuff. It is gutting the human experience, and it's going to create a very lonely, less connected, not nearly as happy society.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Don't you love fall in Indy, but hate the paint? Do what your neighbor Mark did. He called Rhino Shield.
It's a two-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with a Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
And Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating, better than paint.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
Our 25% off special is now extended through December. Plus, receive a free game console just by having Rhino Shield applied by spring of 2024.
It was done in 2001. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Remember, you have until the end of December to receive 25% off. Plus, get your job done by spring of 2024 and receive a free game console. Restrictions apply. Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
They say it's been violated. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. There was an extension to a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, but that may be moot now.
According to the Israelis, Hamas fighters violated the ceasefire for the first time in 5 days. We do understand, according to the Israeli military, there were 3 large explosions in northern Gaza. The Israelis say some of their forces were lightly injured. And at least one of 2 separate locations, there was an exchange of gunfire.
Fox's Trey Yingst. Former President Trump's attempt to subpoena information about the 2021 U.S. Capitol riot is being rejected by a federal judge. Trump's attorneys claimed that the motion to subpoena records from the House Select Committee was due to materials being withheld related to the investigation. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You only have one heart. So let's keep it near everyone it beats for. Franciscan Health is leading the way as the only hospital in Indiana to be recognized as one of HealthGrade's 100 best hospitals for cardiac care and coronary intervention in 2024. We're delivering award-winning heart care in your neighborhood, near everyone you love, because our greatest reward is caring for you. Learn more about our compassionate, patient-focused approach to heart care. Visit us at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
Every year, millions of people find a health plan at healthcare.gov during open enrollment. They enjoy more doctor visits, pick up prescriptions, and find the care they need. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 a month or less with financial help. Enroll by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Healthcare.gov is here for millions like you. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Life is a collection of moments that last forever, so make them matter and make them count with a symbol of everlasting love. A diamond from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Forever to touch you. 33 minutes after 11, it's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And Hammer joins us from the Hammer and Nigel program.
Fashionably late, but thank you for making the accommodations.
Of course. We're fluid
morning.
like that.
So yesterday, we kicked off the in-season tournament of Biden Madness.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And again, this is a small, abbreviated field. Mm-hmm. And the caveat is it's Biden against Kamala for this in-season tournament.
Yeah.
So you can vote right now on Hammer and Nigel Twitter which one of these clips we're about to play you want to advance. The cutoff time, I think, is around 4:30 this afternoon, give or take.
Okay.
But the first clip we have in the first matchup is Kamala Harris's speech about the children of the community.
You know, when we talk about our children, I know for this group, we all believe that when we talk about the children of the community, they are the children of the community.
Now, the reason we have this in the field is because clearly she had been watching the movie Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield because that children of the community rant was the exact same answer that Thornton Mellon gave talking about The Great Gatsby.
You characterize The Great Gatsby.
Well, The Great Gatsby was great.
Children of the community are the Children of the Community.
Is that not one of the most underrated movies of all time, Back to School?
So good.
I mean, it's phenomenal, and it doesn't get near the credit Caddyshack does, but man, he is awesome.
Is that
in
where he
movie.
does the triple Lindy?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And there's all sorts of famous people in that.
Yeah.
William
Robert
Zabka doing what he does in 80s movies, the blonde buff bully.
From what was the Daniel LaRusso movie?
Karate
Kid, yes. And then Robert Downey Jr. is the very young Robert Downey Jr. is
Sam
the best
Kinison?
friend. The guy,
the scene stealer
the
of
teacher.
Sam Kinison.
the guy from Rocky,
Paulie.
Paulie is the muscle that drives Rodney Dangerfield around. Oh, I don't have a problem, but this guy does.
Squeezes the napkin holder and gets ready to throw down.
My favorite one is where he says, "I know we didn't mean to get on this, but Bubbles." He's got all these hot chicks that come in the hot tub with him. That's what I call marine biology.
Dude, we could totally do just nothing but a back to school thread on social media. That's what I call marine biology. So Kamala Harris's speech on children of the community going up against the winner, the number one seed in this tournament, the winner of the first ever Biden Madness, the full month-long tournament, the President of the United States trying to read the Declaration of Independence.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
So you can vote right now on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at Hammer and Nigel. Which one of those clips do you want to advance to the next round? The children of the community or you know the thing?
All right,
and we'll have a new matchup this afternoon. We'll announce that winner and have another matchup at 4:48 today.
Very good. All right, you've got something that has been on your mind since late last night. Hammer was sending me messages at like 2:30 in the morning on this and was like, bro, I got to sleep.
So there's an interesting story about a basketball player in the NBA. His name is Josh Giddey. He is a young player for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Like 21 years old or something like that.
Just turned 21.
Yeah.
So if you look up his name on social media, especially on Twitter, the dude is being dragged and people are calling him basically a pedophile because there's a story out there and there's pictures to kind of go along with it that he may or may not have been in an improper relationship with a young woman, somebody underaged. Okay. But, and again, I don't know if this is true or not. Nobody's really coming out and talking about it. But there are things on social media that say Josh Giddey, this basketball player, was at a club, an over 18 club, because he himself was not 21 at the time. He was 20 at the time of this alleged incident.
Right.
He was at this nightclub that was 18 and over and may or may not have hooked up with a young lady that either had a fake ID or somehow got into the club and she was not of legal age.
Okay.
So there's a lot to digest there. Now, again, maybe she was 18. Nobody's coming out and saying anything. But all the allegations, if you look up his name on Twitter, the dude's being dragged.
And this happened with a baseball player earlier this year, too. The guy for the Rays.
Wander Franco. Same
thing where a random post shows up on social media of an athlete with a girl who appears to be or is allegedly underage, and then there's kind of like radio silence from authorities or people that can speak with authority on the topic.
So here's this 20-year-old athlete in a club where he's to believe everybody has to be 18 to be in.
He's thinking he's in the clear.
Right. Hooks up with this chick. They go back. They have alleged relations. There's a picture of the woman, claiming that she had relations with him. So, Casey, I'm curious as to your perspective here, because Crystal and I, we had a big debate about this. And my wife's angle is it's women like that snuck into the club and now we're trying to ruin this dude's life that give real victims a bad name.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. That's her angle.
Yeah, I would agree with her. But, so she went into this 18 and over club, right?
Yes.
So he's to believe that she's over 18.
Correct.
So this woman not only lied to the club, but she's lying to everybody in the club.
Right.
So
again, all alleged
this really
from social media.
And if you see,
this isn't his fault.
If you see her photo too, it's not. They're like. On To Catch a Predator, the photos they use are of people who, it was staffers for Dateline who were, hey, give us a photo of yourself when you were 11, right? It's obvious. There's no gray area when you were looking at these photos. This young lady, if indeed she was under the age of 18, just by simply looking at her photo.
You can't tell.
There's nothing.
She looks like she's in her 20s.
Exactly. Absolutely. So, yeah, I'm totally with you on that. My question on this is, and it was the same thing with this Wander Franco dude. If you're a professional sports organization and you invest millions of dollars, this Wander Franco guy just signed a contract for hundreds.
He was going to be the future of the race.
Yeah, $100+ million. In this case, this Giddy guy, he hasn't achieved that level of stardom yet, but he was a very high draft pick, was my understanding. You've invested millions of dollars in these players. How is there not some sort of chaperone? Because the deal is not that he met this girl in the club. That's on the club that let her in. It's the alleged relationship. It's not even that they were making out in a club. It's an alleged sexual relationship. How do you not have chaperones to try to mitigate these sort of things?
Well, if they're all over 18.
But it doesn't matter, because I'm saying if you are a professional sports organization and you are investing millions of dollars in these guys, and like this Giddy guy is not a bench warmer. He's a guy who was drafted very high, and potential face of the franchise.
He's Australian. He was a very high pick. He was like the best player in Australia, and they brought him over.
How do you not have just 24/7, hey, Frank, you are hired and your job is to look after Josh and
like
Terry.
What? So like it's supposed to be almost an insurance policy to make sure they don't get in trouble?
I'm saying the bad.
You can't restrict his freedom if he's over 18.
But you can moments like this to say, if you are going, first of all, the fact that apparently he's allegedly going home from the club with randos, that's another conversation for another day. But don't you?
Because that's what every dude in the NBA does.
Well, right. But
Isn't that why they want to be in the NBA?
I'm not judging him for that. But what I'm saying is there's a huge difference between sketchy, probably not the safest behavior, and illegal behavior. And if you're in a club where specifically nobody there is over 21 for the most part, which is why they're there, aren't you wanting to create some sort of buffer zone to say, hey, we better find out what these girls, especially when the Wander Franco thing just happened?
But if he was 20 at the time, there's only a 2-year age difference there, like assuming everybody in there is 18. Now, the gray area is the bad decision making from Giddy, because, again, if you look long enough, you'll find the selfie on social media where he took a post-relations selfie with this woman where she claims just blanked Giddy, and he's there shirtless, basically, and they're caressing.
Is she claiming that she was wronged?
No, she is not coming out with anything. Some fan pointed out that
saying this girl's not 18.
He saw this woman's post and was like, wait a minute, I know how old that woman is, and I know who that is that she hooked up with. Because, again, there was a post-relations selfie that made its way onto social media.
Yeah. And
both parties here are not saying anything, the woman or the player.
Right. And so my thought, and they come back to whether it's Wander Franco or this guy or whoever, and there's so many bad choices these athletes make. Trevor Bauer's another great example. Okay, did Trevor Bauer do anything wrong? It appears not, based on the fact of how he has won in court and these text messages from this woman who have been revealed. Trevor Bauer, for those who don't know, was a very famous baseball player, was the highest paid player in baseball, was accused of unwanted rough
sexual assault,
unwanted rough sex with a woman. The judge threw the restraining order out.
Female judge threw it out.
Yeah, in California of all places. I mean, he was basically cleared of everything, and the text messages from this woman kind of appear to be proven that he.
But his reputation had already been tarnished.
Right. But if you're a guy that is making the amount of money that these players are making, how are the teams not teaching you the institutional controls or the safeguards that you need to be in place? Like, if I am making what Trevor Bauer is making, or even this Giddy guy, I'm having a person, even if the team isn't going to provide it, around me at all times who can save me from myself.
What, to make sure you're not making bad decisions?
Right, because look at the situation he's in now, whether he did anything wrong or not. Simply the allegation is now over his head.
And it sucks that, and again, I don't know the real story. This is all out there on social media, but I think it makes for a great conversation. What if that were your son or your daughter being accused of being a pedophile, and everywhere they go, they scream it? If you're a high-profile athlete, fans on the road are going to start calling you pedophile when you might not have done anything wrong at all. That's going to be tough for your reputation to overcome.
That's what I'm saying, is they used to, and I'm assuming they still do, but teach these the rookie orientations when they come in the league. But man, you almost think it would be worth the investment for the individual himself, but especially the team to say, we have put all this money into these guys, and now it's Oklahoma City, I think, is the team he plays for, right? The bad publicity for the Thunder, even if he's cleared, they got this cloud hanging over their head. It just seems like these guys aren't taught there's not enough institutional control to teach these guys how to save themselves from themselves.
But what if Giddey comes back to them and goes, all I did was go to listen to the music. It was the off season, or maybe we had a couple nights off. I wasn't drinking. I'm a young guy. I like to have relations. I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, if she's over, and then you get in the conversation of, hey, is 17 and 9 months, or 17 and 10 months, or 17 and 11 months and 30 days. Literally at a stroke of midnight, something, is a not a crime, and then the day before.
Right. I think that matters, though. Like, there's a difference between if she was 15 and got into the club, even though she looks like she's in her 20s.
Well, obviously, she's trying to look old enough to get into the club.
Is Giddey expected to card her before relations? Is that how it's supposed to work? Does she have a fake ID? How did she get into the club?
Yeah, and that's it's like to come
Can
back
I see your driver's license? Okay, now we can kiss.
To come back to
that's
catch.
kind of how Derek Jeter did business, right?
Yeah.
Well,
you leave your phone, you leave your keys at the door. You're going to leave the next day, and you're going to get an autographed basket.
What's coming up this afternoon?
Round 2. Day 2 of Biden Madness. We'll have that and Richard Essex of Wish TV with the latest in the Delphi trial.
All right, thanks, Hammer. You know what? Rob did something crazy last night. We're going to discuss that coming up from 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, more prisoners released by Hamas, and is the U.S. economy better than we're letting on? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Hi, my name is Peg Strodbeck, and I'm a member of Tabernacle Presbyterian Church. TAB is a place where sound biblical teaching is the foundation for who we are and everything we do. Church at TAB isn't just for Sunday. It happens every day of the week through ministries that serve those inside and outside the church. From the pastor's Bible study to our chef-led cafe offering hot meals to organized youth sports, TAB is focused on living out the gospel of Jesus Christ. If you're looking for a church that combines faithful preaching with urban outreach, you've come to the right place. I'm Peg Strodbeck, and I invite you to come see for yourself.
Tabernacle Presbyterian Church, 34th Street and Central Avenue in Indianapolis, invites you to worship Sunday morning at 8 or 10 a.m. If you can't make it in person, tune in to Sunday with Tab, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WIBC, or find us online at tabpres.org.
Get ready, Indiana! It's Medicare annual enrollment period. So why not make enrolling easier with United Healthcare? Whether you choose our online tools or over-the-phone support, United Healthcare will help you compare options so you can choose a plan with confidence. This is Medicare made for Indiana, trusted everywhere. Explore our wide range of plans by calling United Healthcare today at 1-855-MEET-UHC. That's 1-855-MEET-UHC. Annual enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th, so call today.
Every dollar matters when it comes to Medicare coverage. When you enroll with MDY's Medicare, our low-cost plans give you access to over 27,000 in-network providers. $0 primary care copay with no deductibles, plus a generous OTC allowance. Call 833-248-3906 or go to mdwise.org/MDY's Medicare. Enroll by December 7th. MDY's Medicare is an HMO/HMO POS with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in MDY's Medicare depends on contract renewal.
Cyber Golden Gable deals are here at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 45% off and save an extra $100 on every $800 you spend on select major appliances. And there's more. Get the DeWalt 20-volt Max Drill Kit for $99. Was $159. Hurry, these savings won't last because Lowe's knows deals. Valid through 11/29 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
Is your Generac home standby generator ready for the next outage? Are you overdue for annual maintenance? Schedule an inspection today with Generator Supercenter and ensure your Generac generator is ready when you need it most. GeneratorSupercenter.com.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
Crimson flames tied through my ears, flowing high and mighty trapped. Countless fires.
93 WIBC. It is the Kendall and Casey show. Rob, you were busy last night. You did something, huh?
Oh my gosh, this is life-altering, Casey. I didn't even know this world existed. I mean, I'd heard about it. It's probably like when Columbus in 1492 sailed the ocean blue.
Yeah.
People had heard that maybe the earth wasn't actually flat, but you didn't know for sure. That was me last night. I had heard that there was this place called Costco.
Yes.
And now we are Costco people.
What? That's amazing. Well, welcome to the world.
Do you have a Costco membership?
Yes, and Costco's been around for a while now, Rob. So I have to know all the details. What prompted this?
So our dear friends, Shane and Teresa, they got us a Costco membership for Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's nice.
And we went last night because Olivia was in need of diapers and wipes. And so I said, well, this would be a great opportunity for us to go ahead and activate said membership and then get the things that we need. Casey, they also sell gigantic bottles of liquor.
Yes, they do. They do. They have a pretty good booze section and wine section. And the Kirkland brand is not bad.
It's so cheap. So my wife, I guess, had shopped at Costco before. She was familiar with the Kirkland brand. She's like, you need to buy all the stuff needs to be Kirkland. And I got to say, I was, for the first tour, now we didn't do a deep dive. We just kind of did a thing around the store. We did buy a giant bottle of liquor. I mean, so you're checking out, we've got baby wipes, we've got baby diapers, and a giant bottle of liquor.
Of course you do.
Oh, and a gigantic package of burritos,
There
too.
you go. Nice. You found those.
What a place.
Well, do you remember that one time we came over to visit you after the baby was born and we brought those chicken tacos, the street tacos?
Yeah.
That was from Costco.
Yeah, and what they have like a concession stand there.
Yeah, well, the hot dogs.
Yes.
The $1.50 hot dogs.
And a soda?
Yes, exactly. Now, did you happen to go down any of the boxed packaged food aisle, like, the Belvita breakfast snacks that I used to bring in every morning for you to make sure you weren't hangry?
We went down pretty much all of the aisles. We didn't stay very long other than in the alcohol aisle. But everywhere else, it was pretty quick. This place is... Now, here is the problem. I'm stingy. You know this. Now, you will make money on this if you buy because it's bulk. And it is way cheaper in the long term. I just have a problem paying that much for stuff up front, but I'm going to have to discipline myself. And you have to change the shopping habits because you got to kind of like drain the account to have room for all the stuff. So you got to buy, drain, no quick running to the store, etc.
Well, the thing that I have a big problem with Costco, because, I live in a small, tiny little place.
The skyrise.
Is where to store everything. Yeah. Because when you buy the big bundle of paper towels or toilet paper, where do you house all of it?
Yeah, and so my wife and I had a very, 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 very direct conversation 2 minutes into the store yesterday.
You said we're here for one thing.
Well, I told her, I said, because my wife gets enamored with stuff, and then she will look around our house and go, we just have so much stuff here. I just want to get rid of all of it. Because you bought it!
Yeah, that's a problem, huh?
So I told her yesterday, I said, look, we are making an agreement right now, husband and wife, partners in life, that unless it is something that is vital to our daily existence, so that is food, that is diapers, that is cleaning supplies.
Consumables.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We are not buying anything here without a mutual consent.
Yeah, you got to have a discussion first.
Absolutely. And I was told that there was mutual consent. I got the mutual consent that I will, because I said, otherwise I won't be able to trust you to come here by yourself.
Yeah.
No, and I want to trust you here by yourself.
Did you happen to notice the produce section or even the bakery?
It's fabulous.
Yes, it's amazing. I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad you're in the Costco world now.
Here's the problem with Costco, though. So we bought the giant thing of diapers, the giant thing of wipes, a giant thing of bleach cleaner, the giant thing of burritos, and the giant thing of alcohol. I think that's what the only things we got. And it was like over $100. Now that sounds like a lot of money. It will obviously pay off in the end.
Yeah,
but it would be real easy to walk into that place and spend $1,000.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I mean, not buying anything irresponsible. So you got to be pretty disciplined when you're pricing out over there because the quantities are so big.
Now I have found that like the diapers, that's probably going to be a good deal for you.
It's totally was. It's a great deal. It's just you're spending say $42 up front,
but it's going to last longer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm just saying you got to be. People like us who are fixed income people, because I work in radio, you got to be pretty disciplined in your approach to shopping at this place.
Yeah. You're going to find that the paper products are definitely a better bargain. Yeah. But there's also, sometimes they don't have, if you get used to buying the same thing over and over, they don't always have it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that can be a problem. But you might get introduced to new food items that you weren't seeing at the regular grocery store.
You ever see the second Batman, the one with Danny DeVito, where he's the Penguin, and he's Oswald Cobblepot is his real name, and his whole thing is I'm reclaiming my birthright. I'm coming out of the sewer and reclaiming my birthright here up above ground in Gotham. I felt like last night I was reclaiming my birthright to buy off-brand products at a reasonable price because, as we've documented on this show, it's been stolen from me at the Walmart because, thanks to inflation, all the rich people and I had an agreement. You will buy the nice stuff and you will have nicer tasting, better assembled things. And I'm fine with that. I'm not a class envy guy. I will have the Walmart brand or the Sam's Club brand, and I will have the less nice tasting things, but I will spend less money. Well, we've seen the worlds have collided because things have gotten so expensive that now the rich people are buying my stuff, which is totally unfair. I felt like a la Oswald Cobblepot last night. I reclaimed my birthright because is it Kirkland? Is that the name of it? The Kirkland stuff is very, very cheap, and it doesn't appear to be any shortage of it.
Now, the thing is, Rob, you're still going to need to go to the grocery store from time to time because if you need something like, I don't know, a little container, a little can of olives, you don't go to get those at Costco unless you really love olives because they only have the gigantic jar.
Yeah.
So you're still going to have to go to the grocery store for some of your other items.
It's totally changed my life, and things will never be the same.
Well, those are some good friends. Maybe you should thank them again.
What a bargain.
Yeah, it is a good time at Costco. Plus, they have the free little samples you can try.
That's what I
while
was
you
Saturday
shop.
and Sunday is when I was told the free samples.
Yeah.
Because I was going down the aisles and I didn't see anyone sampling anything.
They have those there. Check those out on the weekend. Okay.
Boy, thanks, Casey. Thanks for letting me get that off my off my chest and let everybody know.
I'm excited for you. All right, well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Jack, and thank you for listening today. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Hey, Rob.
Yes.
Did you hear Bill Demery, our retirement guy, is helping Indy residents add an instant 13% bonus on top of their retirement savings?
Wait. So like every $100 gets you an extra $13 more?
Yep, and it adds up. You can get $13,000 for every $100,000.
13%, that's a heck of a bonus even to a rich person like you, Casey.
Yes, it is. And then you get an extremely competitive return year after year. Over the last 10 years, it's been 7% and backed by one of the world's largest insurance companies.
I guess that's why Indy calls Bill Demery your retirement guy. So if listeners want their 13% bonus, Casey, what should they do?
Well, they should call Bill Demery at 317-932-9912. But it may not last long, okay? So call today, 317-932-9912. That's 317-932-9912.
Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
No more joint pain. It's not necessary to live another year in pain. Call QC Kinetics right now and make 2024 the year you are back to living a normal life again. Tony Katz here, and QC Kinetics can give you your life back. They're the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. All natural treatments that can repair and restore damaged tissue, giving you pain-free movement. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients around the country. People who had knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, who were able to get lasting relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Make the call right now so you can get the most out of 2024. Got pain from that old injury? Pain from arthritis? Get back to doing what you love. Make that pain go away. And don't forget, you can use your HSA and FSA funds. Get your free consultation with QC Kinetics. 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. QC Kinetics in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and now in Carmel, all with Saturday appointments available. QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Extended Black Friday. Up to 52% off all products, plus 10% in manufacturer rebates. For a limited time only, go to bwindow.com.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up, management asked him to leave.
It's mind-blowing to me.
Stephen Brown was found guilty in June on several felony charges.
He has rarely been seen in public.
The committee issued a subpoena for President Biden's son.
They were so thankful.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
A familiar face shoots at the guard.
Indy's feeling the chill, 21 degrees, partly cloudy with highs in the upper 20s today. More on your forecast in a moment. I'm John Herrick.
And I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. Around 1:30 Tuesday morning at Connor's Pub. That's when IMPD says a man who was a frequent customer came into the pub and started to cause problems. And management asked him to leave. And then by the security guard and bouncer started having a verbal confrontation because the subject did not want to leave. IMPD Captain Don Weilhammer tells Wish TV that the man ended up shooting a security guard and then ran away. The police are still trying to find that man. The security guard is in a hospital and is expected to recover. In 2020, another security guard was shot and killed at the pub last year. Curtis Baker was sentenced to 80 years for the murder of Alfred Hayes.
Highs will be in the upper 20s this afternoon, says forecaster Andrew White with the National Weather Service.
But temperatures will actually start warming up during the overnight hours, so the coldest temperatures will be in the evening, and then by morning will be into the mid to upper 20s.
White says Hoosiers can expect a warm up and rain in the coming days. The National Weather Service says daytime highs will be expected to be as much as 20 degrees below average in parts of the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley, as well as areas of the East Coast.
2 St. Louis women are in jail in southwestern Indiana after state troopers found 10 pounds of meth in the trunk of their car during a traffic stop.
It's mind-blowing to me how many individuals that are transporting